Is it firing up? And welcome to the Rideshare Garage. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How's everybody doing?
Why are we smushed in the corner like this? Look, there we go.
What?
That's better.
I didn't do it. I do it. Was it my fault, bro? My bad.
I'm just the executive producer. I don't know.
I mean, you got your own there. What the hell?
Look, we got it right now. We got it right now.
No, now I'm mad. Now I want to go back the way it was.
Before we started the show, I was sitting here thinking, I was like, you know what? Oops. Anyway,
do you really have that on?
I do. Yeah. I got them on. Hey, look, if a banger comes through and it says it's gonna pay me $300, look, I love you and I love doing the show, but $300,
bro. No.
Look,
because listen,
I need to make that $400. But
listen, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, bro. Okay, a $300 ride for you is like 8 hours.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had a woman yesterday. Yeah, flying back to LA. Right? She was in town to visit with her mom or whatever. She was on her way back to LA, and I said, I got friends out in LA, and she was like, how long is the trip going to take to get us to the airport? I said, well, it'd be about 30 minutes or so. She said, my God, that's it? I said, yeah, why? I said, where are you going? She says, LA. I said, oh, then it'd probably take you about 2 hours to get to you. How did you know? I said, because I know Steven. I've seen his 21-mile, hour-and-a-half rides. I've seen them.
That's what it is.
Seen them.
Try to get to LAX from the Valley. Yep. Get worked real quick. That was one of those things I was thinking about. Man, chat's not even. Yeah, no.
You see that, right? There's no chat going up there.
But I was gonna say, it was like we've switched software a couple of times, and I'm wondering. Okay, it's working. I've been wondering, like, before with the other software, we're able to have the entire chat on a sidebar inside the stream. And I was thinking that when I was watching your morning live, I was like, I'm assuming everybody can see the chat, while it's live. But then, you miss the context of some of the conversation when you can't have the chat on screen. Of course, we put up the interesting ones, but I mean, that's not the same as being able to see the entire chat. But I was thinking, okay, maybe we need to look into OBS and being able to set up make at least one of the chats show up on here.
All right. Well, Jeffrey Fuller, what's up, Jeffrey? He says,
what's good, Jeffrey?
Back. So I guess it's working. Everybody's just hanging out. We got 14 in the group right now. 3 on Twitter, bro. We got 3 on Twitter.
See, you're popular.
We got 3 on Twitter, bro. 3 on Twitter.
You're Twitter, twat.
Yeah, man. So, just interesting.
Counting time.
I just kind of went through Sergio and Chris's show last night. Kind of hit the cliff notes on it because when I'm with the queen, I'm with the queen, bro, and none of y'all asses matter. None of y'all asses matter. So that's just the way that shit is. All right. That when I got to sleep with both eyes closed that night, and I want to be at peace when I do that shit. Okay. Accounting Tom. God damn it. Did you send Thomas the link? I forgot Tom.
I believe he's in my my email group.
In the group?
Yep.
Okay, all right. My bad, Tom.
Yes,
Ryan's here. What's going on, Ryan?
I set up and named a group, so now when I send that email out, it goes to everybody we got in the Rideshare Garage. So no excuses.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also sent it to he who shall not be named that lives in Colorado, and I'm not talking about Tony. I'm talking about the other guy, the rodeo guy, the Mister. Let's go. And once again, I'm
you sent it and I sent it, so there's no excuses.
I'm just saying. I remember when somebody texted me out of the blue, "Hey man, can you come sit in the show tonight?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll come sit in the show tonight, no problem." Just saying. I show up. I'm just saying. Raymond from North Carolina, bro. How does a Cuban get lost in? How does a New York Cuban get lost in North Carolina? Hey, you need to know English to do Uber, bro. Hey, you see that's what's happening right now, right? You see that's a big thing going on right now.
Is it?
They are now cracking down transportation. Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy has said that if you are operating a vehicle, if you're operating a vehicle on our highways, you must know how to speak English. You must be able to understand and speak English. Which
So
guess what? Guess what, Steve? That was already a law.
Yeah. So just new. Finally enforcing. Yeah, there's a bunch of rules that it seems like that now that they're enforcing, people are up in arms. But I mean, we break laws every day because there's a bunch of laws in the books that they refuse to go through the process of removing that for one reason or another are no longer necessary. So just leaving stuff in the background.
But it's always like Ramon says, it's always been a law for CDL drivers. I know in Dade County, even though in Dade County, one of the few cities in the country that has a law, anything issued by the government, local government, must be done in triplicate, right? Written in triplicate. So English, Spanish, and Creole. Because listen, Dade County is it's a diverse community, right? So I get that. But taking a driving test, supposed to be in English, they do it in Spanish anyway. They do it in other languages anyway, right? When you worked the airport, there was a big bust. I don't know if anybody down here locally would remember. About a year ago, they went in there and if you were an Uber driver or a Lyft driver and you couldn't speak English when that officer approached you, guess what they did? Click, click. No, not just take your car and go. Click, click.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden,
is this for personal driving?
Oh my God, it's discrimination. Huh?
Is this for personal driving as well?
Commercial driving. I think it's just for commercial driving.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm just saying Uber and Lyft is commercial driving. It's not personal driving.
Right.
So
I mean, I already get the customers that say that like flip and like, you speak English? Like, yeah. Why wouldn't
all the time, dude. All the time. Bro, I believe half my tips are because I speak English. Like, no joke. No joke. I think half my tips when they come through, or at least the start of half my tips when they go through, oh, you speak English. Yeah, so do you. What's your point? Because am I not supposed to speak English? But that opens up a whole nother can of worms and ball games, and you start getting into all of that, and so while I was going through the Sergio and Chris's show, there was a thing in there where Dara Khosrowshahi said that he felt Uber in his now understand earnings are next week for Uber and Lyft. Okay, they got earnings next Wednesday and Thursday, right? And they're getting out their letters to their shareholders, right? And so they're trying to explain they have to bullshit their shareholders or any potential investors to keep them from selling their shares out, right? And dropping the stock. We know this. And CEOs are nothing more than professional salesmen for the companies to begin with. They're nothing but letterheads to begin. Paper. They're puppets. They're goddamn puppets. That's what they are, right? Board of directors controls the world. Anyway, on Risher's end, he said that it was found that customers hate prime time. They hate surge pricing, right? And what struck me about that is not the fact that Risher put it in this letter to his shareholders right now, but when he came on board as the CEO, he said it then when he was incoming, he was going to get rid of share pricing or prime time pricing, right? Surge. Now, why a year later do you have to reiterate that? You've already did it. You've already done it. So I don't see how that's a selling point. And for drivers, I mean, I know you do a lot of Lyft, bro, right? But when I turn on, and I've done plenty of videos on this, when I turn on my Uber app and when I turn on my Lyft app, and Mr. Uber over here is bright red, 3, 5, 10, 15, whatever it is, right? And Lyft over here is just as plain as day. Which one are you gonna go work? Are you going to work the red? Or are you going to work the white? Which one are you looking at, Steven?
I mean, it depends, right?
Because it depends on what.
Because you could be getting all that surge, right? That red, but then you get that replacement, that nice old replacement that Uber loves to do, right? You sit in that surge, and then all of a sudden that $3 ride comes in with $5 surge on it.
No, I don't understand what you're saying. If I see red, if I see a bunch of red, and I see nothing, I don't see any pink. I don't see any purple. I don't see any of that shit. But I see a bunch of red over here. I'm sorry, call me racist.
I mean,
I'm going red.
I mean, right off the top,
Don't
you would think that's
go to the red.
Yeah, right off the top, it seems like it's the better option, right? But I'll sit here. I mean, for the rare amount of surge that even pops up on Uber over here. But let's say you get that $8 surge, and then you get a ride. How many times have you got a ride where you got an $8 surge and it's only a $10 ride for 20 minutes? We've talked about this fare replacement thing with surge all the time.
But that's a whole. We can get into the fare replacement in a minute. I'm just saying.
It's nicer to see surge. Yeah, I agree.
I'll be dead honest, and I know for you it's different, and I guess everybody's got different markets, and but Uber pays way better than Lyft.
Mm. Yeah, I can show ride all day showing Uber and showing Lyft, and the amount of rides that come in that aren't even close to $30 an hour rate on Uber is insane. Now, and I think you touched on this on one of the other lives. Now they're talking about this stipend, the commercial stipend and all that, which brings a whole nother thing to this game. And we were going back and forth about this, right? For some people, it can be extremely advantageous, especially if you're in a situation like me, where California comes and takes, or at least Progressive, which is my insurance, takes the rate and basically doubles it just to have the rideshare coverage, right? The endorsement, whatever they call it. So in order for me to use my vehicle and have it up front that I'm using my vehicle for rideshare, they double my policy to the point where it's going to like we talked about, it's probably going to cost me maybe another $500 to get the commercial insurance. But with that $500 here in Los Angeles County, they give it an additional $1 per mile. And I want to see, I'm going to send you
that $1 per mile is only when you have an ass in seat.
100%.
We were talking about that too. So now, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, how many times have you seen the ride? So like the ride comes in and it says it's going to be, it's going to be 15 minutes and let's say it's 3 miles. And then when you're going to drop off, that's a whole nother, for the long rides, it's a 58 miles or whatever it is. And it's going to be an hour, 10 minutes, So it's one of those things where, so you just choose your rides different, right? Because again, this calculation comes in right on top of the ride. And I wish I had an example from one of the other drivers that actually has the commercial insurance. But basically, the additional amount that they pay on the ride, you see up front. So it's like, okay, is this worth it? Is it not worth it?
Well, what happens then is, and I will be willing to bet it's already discussed. I'd be willing to bet it's already dialed into their algo. You go ahead and take the commercial. You go ahead and get your own commercial insurance. Where we talked about all praises. What's going on, man? I ain't seen you in a minute, brother. Welcome back to the live stream. When they give you that extra for the commercial insurance, you say it's $1 a mile. Okay. Now that $1 a mile is good, but who's to say they don't reduce the regular rate?
Trust and believe. I'm expecting that to come. It's like, It's not like it's something, and we talked about this before. They don't give us a reasonable expectation of when they're gonna consider making changes and whatever. Look at the car list. Look at what's going on with the Model Y, and explain to me how the Model Y, with all of its storage space, right? The under trunk, the front, and everything like that, all of that space, being able to move people's luggage, the comfort in the seating. You're gonna tell me that the Mach E is a better option to be on black for Uber?
Well, Mach E didn't tell Uber or Lyft to go fuck themselves. You can't have our cars. I mean, listen, bro. I'm gonna call it as straight. Usually, the most simple answer is the correct answer, right?
That's true.
Occam's razor, right? The most simple answer is usually the correct answer.
Somebody's feeling guilty. No. Hey, we've only been on for 15 minutes. We're hey, you're more than welcome.
Because bruh, because I want to talk about this Colorado thing, because I got a whole different thought process on it than everybody else, and people might want to fly into Fort Lauderdale and kick my ass and fly back out. Because I'm telling you, I got a whole different thought process on it. Anyway, back to the insurance. If you hey, he's got the link. He's got it from your email. Got it from my email. I want to hear it.
Yeah, well, we'll still be on for. We got at least another. What's it called? What, hour?
10 minutes? Well, 10, 15 minutes? At least 10, 15 minutes.
But I mean, I think this is a big deal. I think, even for me driving part-time, I think I can make this work for at least my situation. Now, and especially, so I've been looking around at cars and looking on like OfferUp and whatnot, looking at the Priuses and whatnot that they have, so I could have the smallest.
Hold on, look at this. Okay. All right. We'll try to stretch it out just for you.
Yeah,
Steve. Just for you, Steve. All right, buddy. Rideshare rodeo, buddy. Anyway, go ahead. Continue.
Veritas, welcome. First time here.
Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the garage. You got here just in time. You never know, man. You just never know. Steve's talking about coming in, so we're talking about going home. You know.
I can't drive in Austin. They cluster bomb me with $3 rides. Hey, I mean, see, that's the thing. I've shown Vinny my screenshots on Uber, and they just don't make sense. I'm unloading groceries. Single dad, cut a little slack. You gonna give him a slack?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a little slack. I'll give him a little slack.
Look, Vinny's the boss. You gotta.
He's my guy. No. I'm just a talent.
I'm just the executive producer.
Veritas, just letting you know that the black guy is the executive producer. Okay, he's the owner. He's my puppet master. I have transparent strings above me, and watch him move. See, he just moved, and I just moved. See how that shit goes? See that? Anyway.
No, I mean, I think it's going to be a good opportunity for some people. Some people have already been making it work, and they're doing the math on these rides. But of course, it's going to change your driving style, right? You're going to be focusing.
I think it's a slippery slope. I think it's a slippery slope.
But I think
it's a dead ass slippery slope.
I think. I mean, I told you this before. I think it's one of those things where it's not difficult for you to reverse the process once you go into it. So what? You start a commercial policy. You start paying on a commercial policy.
Well, hold on. Not everybody in every county in every state is going to be able to do this.
Right.
Because like you and I have talked, and we've talked about it here on the show before, Dade County has a certain set of rules, X amount of licenses or permits they can give out. Broward County, look at this. He's going to fit.
This isn't about trusted.
He's gonna fit right in. He's gonna fit right in. No, but Broward County has a certain set of rules and permits, limited permits.
Right. I mean, and we talked about how California has unlimited, basically doesn't have a limit. Yeah.
Well, it's because they need all the money they can get, broke asses. But but go ahead. Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I just think it's a slippery slope, man. The one good thing I will say though. Stephen, the one good thing I will say, if you go this route with the commercial insurance, then at least in my neck of the woods, you're going to have your LLC. You're going to have to be a legit business. You're going to have your permits, your numbers. You're going to have to pay for port access, both the Everglades, Port of Miami, Port Everglades, all three airports. You're going to have all of this paperwork on your ass, right? And if that's the case, bro, you might as well just poach clients left and right. You get a Premier SUV, you get a Uber Black, Lyft Black, whatever.
You think they're not going to be asking for contact information?
Pull a Scott and poach the rides. So how does, while it's a slippery slope for drivers, right? And by the way, folks, if you didn't get this goes for ex drivers too. This isn't just limited to the top. This is
specifically ex drivers, top tier.
Yeah.
So Black doesn't. This is the twisted part about the whole thing. Black, if you get a Black ride, it does not count for the stipend. So you will not.
What?
Yeah, Black doesn't get it. This is only for, they want to turn basic drivers commercial. They want them covering their own insurance.
Well, then it's going back to exactly what I said it was the other day.
Right.
This is in preparation for the Tesla takeover. This is 100% in preparation. Because Uber now, and we're going to see it if we don't see it, they might shuck and jive their way through this earnings period, and Lyft might shuck and jive. They're great. They're great at what they do as CEO salesmen. They're very good at it. They're both two well-spoken individuals. Obviously, they're both intelligent, so they know what they're doing, right? And they might get it. Right now, we got a shaky market, bro. If you came to me and you put a Coke bottle to my head, I was going to say something else, but if you put a Coke bottle to my head and say, okay, you got to pick one of three companies in the rideshare space to invest in, Uber, Lyft, or Tesla, which one would I invest in?
Tesla.
Even 100%, they're proven winners. So if the case is going to be, well, we have to now, drivers now have to supply their own commercial insurance at 35 cents a mile.
But it's like you said, not every market is going to be able to handle that, right? Because you still have the markets that have limits on how many, like basically like the medallions, how many people can register to have a commercial driving business. 100%. LA doesn't have that, as far as I understand. LA doesn't have that limit, and the only limiting factor before the big pause was Uber itself for being able to put on commercial accounts. Now they want everybody. They want X. So you will not get the extra $1 per mile on Black. You can only get it on Comfort, X, Green, and Comfort Electric rides. Yeah, all the lower tiers.
Okay.
All the lower tiers. But all that information is coming up front on the ride when you get it. So you see, you see how much the ride's boosted based off of the mileage.
Well, like I said, the one thing we know with both apps, and you know what, with all the apps, it's not just rideshare, it's also food delivery. It's also Amazon. It's also Walmart, Spark. It's all of them. They dangle that carrot for a month. And then after that month, they start tweaking it down. Next thing you know, the only thing, and this is why I say it's a slippery slope, the only thing you're going to wind up catching is the insurance stipend. Because we have seen pay receipts where the damn fare was negative. You had a $20 surge and the ride paid out $17. So I don't know, man. Me personally, I mean, look, if I were looking to stay in the game long term, which everybody here knows I'm not looking to stay long term anymore. It has changed, and I'm not going to go down that road because people get pissed off at me. Okay, but by the way, take a look at that little note you sent me. Yeah, look at that note again there, brother. Okay. Anyway, so if people are going to stay long term, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I've never said this publicly. I'm going to say it now. Get a Suburban. If you're going to stay in this game, get something where you can, goddamn it, do XLs. That what is the Ford Expedition? I think it's the one with the 6-cylinder. The Expedition qualifies for Premier SUV, Lux Black, Lyft, Uber Black, whatever the goddamn top PUVs in, right? Antonio's like, go down that road.
I mean, what else?
If you're gonna stay in this game and be a physical driver, I mean, I don't see how people are gonna be able to. And you know what, Josh, my man, Josh, big dog, Josh. Shout out Cleveland. Listen, Josh, the only problem that I want to say Tesla, but the way people view Elon right now, you know what? Them same people that are talking shit about Elon in public are the same ones invested in Tesla, get ready to get paid. You know what I'm saying? The smart money is in Tesla. This isn't a Tesla show either. I don't want to go down that road, but you can hate somebody and still drive their shit. Yep, go down that road, bro. I said it. I said it, bro. I need more burger flippers. What?
Hey, look. I mean, with all these, I mean, they already got the AI ordering. What's it called at the window when you drive through? You expect that burger flippers aren't going to turn into robots?
I mean, let me ask you a question for everybody out there.
I only want 20% of the ketchup that you normally put. Okay.
Mr. D is like the Cadillac IQ. You see, $130,000 vehicle versus a $45,000 vehicle. Give me the 2-year-old Suburban.
You know, it's funny because I was talking to Silver Fox about these cars. What's good for X, what's good for comfort, and you know what even comes close in the value. We were talking about comfort, and it's like nothing comes close to the Tesla when it comes to comfort. You know, comfort car. You can get these even Model 3s, you know, in the tens of thousands of dollars, in really good condition and with good condition battery. You know, not much is only the top tier, you know, ICE vehicle can even come close to it and I'm talking about like a Prius or something like that. So, and it doesn't get comfort. So I talked to my Suburban guy.
Yeah, Mr. Gambit says he wouldn't get a Suburban unless it's electric. Well, right now you can't get a Suburban at all. They're all on certain engines, certain models of the Suburban, Tahoe, Escalade. They're on a stop sale. GM is in a world of hurt, right? Those engines got problems, man.
The only thing that size that I even consider is the Rivian, and I'd only buy one used, and I'd be looking for the $40,000 to $50,000 range on that. So $50,000 price on that. If I can't get that, to me, there's no point. I wouldn't even.
But my point to saying, if you're going to stay in this game, if they're going down the road of forcing drivers to have to get their own commercial insurance, forcing drivers to have to get their own permits, they're going to become, then think about this, Stephen, then they become absolute true independent contractors.
Right.
Because you are no longer reliant on the apps for anything other than, here's the work. Bid it out.
Richie might hear you.
Richie who?
Richie Jr.
About what? Hear me about what?
How because he loves to talk about how you're not true independent contractor.
Well, I mean, you listen. At the end of the day, we're really not. We're not true independent contractors. We haven't been, right? But if they go down this road with the insurance, you're going to be a damn independent contractor for real, without question. You'll be an independent contractor. Then you think you were playing games with Trip Radar right now? You think bro? I had $100 Trip Radar come through today. I didn't even bother to hit the button because I knew I wasn't going to get it.
I would have been boop. Oh, let's see what happens.
So anyway, what's a good price for a Suburban? I have no idea, Josh. Big dog, I have no idea. I haven't looked. I'm not trying to look. No, I'm not going down that road. It's me and the Model Y until the Model Y don't fly. And then at that point, I'm hoping I got a cyber cab out there doing the work, you know? And I'm going to refresh something. Well, no, I'm not going to refresh. I said 12 months. Didn't I say 12 months a couple weeks ago on the show? I said I gave most cities 12 months before we start feeling the effects of all these autonomous vehicles. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not just Teslas. Yeah, everybody's got to remember, bro. Uber and Lyft are throwing down with these things too in the summer. Lyft is supposedly got some deal in Atlanta. No, in Dallas. Lyft's supposed to be going to Dallas. Uber is supposed to be going to Atlanta. And I'm not talking about the Waymos. This is a whole nother thing they got going on. So we're all going to feel it. You know, we're going to feel it. Yes, sir.
I think you were a good price for a Suburban is 50 with 30K or less miles. All right.
Don't listen to Scott. Don't listen to Scott. Scott's going to try to get you in a Sentra with spinners. You know what I'm saying? Scott don't want to hear that shit. You know, he don't want no competition. No, I do not want a grocery hauler again. I had a 96 big body.
Oh my God.
No. I had a 96 Chevy Suburban. Okay. With a 13-inch lift kit on it, 35-inch motors, 5-inch pipes. She was a beast. That was a big boy. And we was up there. We was riding high. And the thing is my one daughter, she's like 5'1". Okay. And you got to understand, here's a real cute little story. If you're from Dade County, you'll know the school. Michael Kropp High School was the Beverly Hills 90210 school of Dade County at its time, right? And a bunch of rich kids coming over from Aventura into the semi-hood to go to school, okay? And they all drove Mercedes. They all drove BMWs, this, that, and the other. My daughter, Tony, would come home and say, Daddy, can I take the big truck? I said, why? What's going on? I want to go run over their goddamn cars in that parking lot. You know? We had the big body, bro. We had the big body. Anyway, where's Steve? Still waiting on Steve.
It's already been 20 minutes. Yeah.
It's been like 7 hours now since Steve was here. You know? I can't see buying a new car with everything that's going down with rideshare.
Nah.
You know, I can't.
Whatever I would get would be used.
I can't even see it. Like, if you're not already in the game, what's going to happen? Like Thomas said, right? Thomas said that UPS is laying off 20,000 drivers. Where are they going to go?
Right into rideshare?
Right into rideshare. It's coming. Right. And so the thing,
since last year, the layoffs haven't stopped. You know, banks and all kinds of stuff have been dropping people left and right. Mm-hmm. So it's like, to pretend like it hasn't already been happening and it's not just a continuation, it's kind of crazy to me. I love my Model Y. I'll wait about 2 years to see where it's at and where I am.
Exactly. Exactly. So we started talking about Dara in his letter, I guess, was talking about how he feels Uber is recession resilient. Because he feels no matter what, the worse the economy gets and people get laid off, more people will come onto the platform to go to work because it's so easy to get on the platform to go to work, which would increase the supply. But I think Dara forgot one thing.
You mean it would increase the supply of drivers? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Which would make it cheaper.
That would decrease. That should decrease the supply of passengers.
Well, of course.
Because all those people that needed transportation before that are now driving on the platform, that's not a net win.
Well, in his eyes, it's a net win because they'll have more supply of drivers. But as Sergio pointed out, but as the economy gets rough, people stop
using rideshare.
Stop.
Look at that.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Oh, okay, Steven. I'm out.
Would you bring it?
Cool. Perfect.
All right. We got this on us. Let's do this. Welcome to the new Rideshare. How's it going, Steve?
What's up?
Oh, look,
What's
he's
up,
got
guys?
one for both of us. Oh man!
Look, the camera's even moving too.
How's it going? Did you bring me anything from the store? Hey, look.
By the way, Vinny, that felt like a hug. So thank you.
Yeah, warm.
You know.
You know how we do. You've been down here many times. You know how we do.
Mhm.
The guys give a hug in Wilton manners. They're walking around in G strings and tea backs, and and they give you a little pat on the booty, like, "Oh, good job, good job. Can I ride in your car?"
When this show ends, guys, it's really weird. Vinny asked us all to get naked, and for some reason, weird stuff happens, man.
Yeah, so can I take my blood pressure pill already? Yeah.
What do you think about this whole stipend for adding commercial onto for standard drivers? Do you have a viewpoint on it, or have you heard anything about it? I know not every state's been.
No, I think it sounds like one of the pieces of Prop 22. I mean,
interesting.
It's just trash. I mean, look at what happened. I mean, I guess I can point it out in medical only. The medical stipend, when they first did Prop 22 that they included in that deal, actually was like the best deal you could get during the pandemic in 21. But now what you can get from the medical stipend is usually about $75 more for the exact same plan than if you just go to Marketplace and do it. So it's the Marketplace. I mean, it'll be the same exact plan too from the same company. $75 less and drive commercial. $75 less and you get like an Uber sticker on it probably or something. You know?
Yeah, see, I was telling Vinny the way that I'm looking at it for how much I'm already paying just to drive. We got him frozen. Let me take this screenshot real quick. Got him.
Got him. Let's see. We'll catch up on some quick.
We got that.
Model Y is paid off. I don't see a reason to buy it. Hey, absolutely. Okay, you get what? Don't misconstrue what I'm saying, Josh.
You got
don't
kind
get
of
twisted what I'm saying, Josh.
Yeah, you got a different situation.
Steven, see, this is why I don't say shit.
Yeah,
because then it's like, oh, Vinny said go buy a Suburban. No, I didn't. I said
he said go buy two Suburbans.
That's what he said.
I tell you. No, my deal is simple. If you plan to be in this gig for a while, with everything that's on the wall, X rides are going to become so. I mean, a lot of X rides are going to disappear to the autonomous vehicles. Whomever the app is, doesn't matter. They're going away, guys. They're going away. So, is that a year from now? Is that 5 years from now? Who the hell knows? I still think in 12 months you're going to see. I think the landscape will be completely changed for rideshare drivers. I can't speak for delivery guys. I don't do delivery. Steve would know better than me with that stuff.
But I'll even say about the rideshare, I'm not on that page. Just because I've spoken with insurance agents and regulators and there's not, I mean, literally some of the factors are out of the control of the tech itself anyway, like infrastructure would take 15 years before they're going to be comfortable with it.
Well,
I mean, I literally, Vinny, you'll find this hilarious. My insurance agent, he retired and gave the business to his son. His son is like 25. So he's like half my age, but he knows his stuff. Okay. And I asked him, I said, what do you know? And he actually knows some about the autonomous space. And he goes, here's what I know. He goes, we're not going to be dealing with anything until it's all people or all autonomous. He goes, we can't get involved in these weird city deals. It's like an all or nothing. He straight up to my face said, like, your generation needs to go because you guys are never going to be okay with that.
Well, yeah, but here's my counter to that. So with Tesla in June saying, okay, we're releasing FSD unsupervised, means that they're taking on that liability. They, as a manufacturer, as a company, are now willing to accept whatever happens with
kind
FSD unsupervised. No, I ain't no kind of.
Well, here's why it's kind of, because you're not going to see it in every city. Like, let's say it's in 2 now, and let's say it goes to 10. Okay,
right.
All of those 10 cities, dude, as scumbag as this sounds, it just is true. All like San Francisco. This is why the fire marshal, the police chief, all these people, the mayor wanted all these autonomouses out because Governor Newsom allowed them in there. He made a contract deal, and in that contract deal, it had an umbrella ceiling of $800,000 where the insurance ends.
Okay.
So if you're a pedestrian and you're walking and an unsupervised cruise hits you like the one it did, and then it drugged somebody 4 blocks, killed them, pinned them, their family got a max $800,000. You can get more out of a driver. I mean, these are dirty deals that are being signed for mass amounts of money into dirty cities.
Okay, and so I can respect what you're saying. Incidentally, the cruise accident was actually hit by somebody else and then thrown into the cruise car.
Yeah,
cruise car was the second one.
The person was crossing. But what I didn't like about that, and so now that you brought it up, was that the LiDAR didn't catch it at any level. Like, here was a person crossing, and never did it say just pull over and stop.
Yep. Well, that's a whole nother issue when you look at those. I contend any city that's taking on the responsibility, you know what? You're probably right. They've got some kind of deal cut for the insurance. But Tesla also, when you buy a Tesla, you can buy your insurance through Tesla. You don't have to go to Allstate. You don't have to go to Farmers. You can get your insurance through Tesla. Whether they underwrite it through somebody else, I'm sure they do.
And they do. They use like a 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but here's my point. If you have a signed, it's almost like when AB5 got signed by 5 people and it was a law without even hitting committee. That's how easy they pushed it. When you get somebody signing off on this, what about when like your 2 kids are in the car and you're driving and you're hit by an autonomous vehicle and your 2 kids are paraplegic for life? You get $800,000 and there's not a penny more.
Well, yeah. See, and so that's the thing that,
I mean, you're going to be able to pay for 2 years of your kids living.
Well, that's what we don't know yet. You ever see that movie? What's his name? Michael Keaton. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Michael Keaton was the insurance guy who was charged with this, based on true events, on determining how much a life was worth after 9/11 in the World Trade Center towers. All those folks that died at World Trade Center Tower during 9/11, it was his job to go figure out how much Steve's life was worth or Steven's life was worth. Well, we know
why were they worth different amounts? And here's why I say that, because like if I'm a multi-millionaire in an elevator with you and Steven, and he's a multi-millionaire and you've got $1 in your pocket, all our lives should be the same value. What we've acquired is what we've acquired.
Yeah, but it doesn't work that way. And sir, that's a whole nother show.
Forgive me for thinking like a human.
Yeah. How dare you? In fact, how dare you?
Not, as they say, not all Model Ys are created equally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some are black, some are white. You just don't know these things.
Well, I mean, it's like, even I rode in Tony's a few times when he had a few different, but when he had the FSD, when he had the full self drive, I mean, like, and that, I know it's a different scenario, but I remember that being that, oh, so it does do it. And he goes, yeah, but I'm responsible if it does anything wrong. Right. And I was like, whoa, because the full self-driving was like cutting into trucks, and like it made some moves that it didn't do anything. We didn't get in an accident, but it made some aggressive moves for being on Tony's dime.
Right. Well, it's going to be interesting to see. I was shocked when it was 2 earnings ago when Elon said you'll be able to go to sleep. Mm-hmm. You'll be able to go to sleep. And he reiterated this on the earnings call here last week. He said the exact same words again. So when I hear that,
I mean, dude, that's why I say you're probably right. Like, look, 10, we'll pick, who knows which ones they are, but 10 cities that have NFL teams probably will have Tesla autonomous. And I don't know what they're going to do about it. I don't know. I mean, we've had underwriters for Uber leave after 2 months, underwriting the entire country and going, whoa, no way. What is this? Because until it happens and you see it, you just don't know.
And that's what Steven and I were talking about with commercial insurance. It's a slippery slope when they're coming to drivers and telling drivers, we want you to have your own commercial insurance now to drive X. And oh, by the way, we're going to give you X amount of money per mile. Like,
wait, so what was that you just showed me? Because I haven't.
Do you know where I live, sir?
Yeah, the St. Martin, or I think you live in the Bahamas. You've got $1 million suite and a speedboat, and I know you pretend you live in Miami, and you really have
Lucha, bro.
Really rough it,
Lucha, North Side.
Right, no, I know you got to rough it, but
my ear, what you say, boy? I'm gonna tell you, come see me now, dear.
Vinny in a car, it's a green screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Thing's a sham, dude.
Bah.
He's on the beach having cocktails.
We have. I opened up my app on
Mr. DSN. That's exactly what I was thinking is going to happen. Me and the other guys were talking about this again. That's why I said to Vinny, it's not something that you can reverse course on, which is a good thing. It's a lot less. It's not the same as when I go to buy a Model Y and they get rid of Lux. It's not the same as that. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to you, Vinny.
Yeah.
It's not that. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
You know, I mean, we all look. I'm sure you guys have said this before, but I'll say it again because it might have been a while. The fact that Uber X rides by rate card in almost every city probably now are less than the write-off should tell you guys volumes.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, 100%. The fact you can write off 70 cents, but like in my market, it's 55 cents.
And it's still not cheap enough for them.
Yeah.
That's what gets me. It's still not
like you're not going in the right direction there.
Exactly. The business model
and it's noticed. You know.
And so the drive commercial and
screenshot. Got him.
Did you? How do I do it?
Yeah. I disappeared. Did you guys disappear? No. Did we just get Spain in Portugal? Did we just get Portugal?
When I interviewed the CEO from Incognia, he said all they need is a quick snapshot of somebody. They probably froze your frame, did that. Now they can drive on your account because Incognia is the security software behind Uber and Lyft now.
Oh, that's a perfect picture. We got Benny.
Right, he was looking forward. It's
he was looking forward. We got him.
So now I woke up Monday, Steve. And Steven, I woke up Monday and on my app, it said drive commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning they are now, in my market, they are now asking for people to figure out what's going on with it. You know, they want us to consider getting our permits and driving commercial. And it includes all levels from X shared all the way up.
So you can still do it. So you can still do it without, but obviously there's a perk if you do it.
Right. So if the perk is the $1 per mile.
Yeah, it doesn't say how much it is. It doesn't say anything. It just says if you get your own commercial
it says
insurance,
go do this and go pay all this money and
we'll give you something
instead of this.
Yeah, we'll give you something.
Spell it out, Uber.
Yeah, it's not spelled
out. Spell it out. Make it. Show us why we should go get that insurance.
And the other thing is it's different per. It seems like it's different per county. So. Like here, we know that LA gives the $1, but there's I forgot what the other area that the other person drives in, but he's getting like 60 something cents per mile. And then Silver Fox, he is in the Orange County area, right? So Scott, for example, when he's been driving a different truck, but since Scott's been driving his different truck, and he mainly only does black. He'll do XL every once in a while. But he would only get the stipend on XL, not on black, which it's insane to me. But then, so Silver Fox is working on it. He was able to get his commercial license for his his Highlander, and now he's on the last steps registering with the PUC, right? So once he finishes with that, we'll find out whatever. I don't know how much he's going to get paid for Orange County because we don't know the Orange County rate. They don't have a map. It's
probably not much different though. What, 65 cents?
I hope not. You hope not. But it's just for his area in comparison to Los Angeles, and for me, I'm interested in Ventura County because I tend to head west and then I come back down toward Los Angeles. I'll come back east and I'll take those trips. So if I can catch, if Ventura County's not paying me, then I only can stay in this, the LA area in order to get the stipend. Is it worth it for me?
Here's an idea. I want Vinny, what would you think about this? Screw all the stipends, screw all the phases. When you're responsible for your car insurance all the time, except for when the passenger's in the car and they cover it fully when that's going on.
That would be nice.
They have add-on commercial during what they call phase, what is it, 3 now?
Mm-hmm.
Phase 3. Yeah, but
when you have passenger getting in car to drop off, that's the only point. Like, I don't need to be insured for 1 and 2.
But that's where we're at anyway.
No, when they have partial coverage for 1 and 2. Like, dude, just move it all over to 3 and start covering it.
Yeah, but Steve, partial insurance with a $2,000 deductible. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, no,
but I agree. I agree with you. If they move it all to stage 3,
and by the way, there should be no deductible. The deductible should only apply to your insurance.
I agree. Preach it to the choir, sir. Antonio, was that commercial insurance for Tesla drivers only? No, that's for everybody. You
everybody.
Can have a Sentra with spinners on comfort, and you can get your own insurance on that if they want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it's what I see. They have to find a way to keep making money. Mm-hmm. They're vertical. When we think about and I know I'm not trying to use $3 words here. Not $5 words, $3 words. We're only going to talk $3 words, all right? Because we some dumb people's on here. I'm a dummy, okay? I just want it known. I'm a dummy, okay? Uber's vertical. Where else can they go? What else can Uber do now that it hasn't done already? But, I mean, what vertical do they have to go for? Where's Lyft going to go?
Airplane dive down.
I'm just saying. Where are they going to go? We can't sit here and say that their technology is so overwhelmingly good, right? Ask any driver who uses the app. It's not that great. I mean,
imagine they actually put some money toward improving
the trajectory is very close to like Pearl Harboring.
Yeah, it's. I mean, where
it's like a game show where there's like amounts of money on the water, and we got to be kamikaze pilots going at them. Oh, I hit the 100,000, then you die.
Yeah, like I said, next week's going to be interesting. Earnings next week is going to be interesting. I told Steven I might do a little something live just to sit on the earnings call and listen to it because listen, they're both eloquent the way they speak. They're damn good salesmen, bro.
Well, this is why is why when you asked me about autonomous, because you said I don't know about delivery, but for delivery, and this as well for rideshare, 2018, I think 2020 was the first announced date. Autonomous will be full. 2021 full. 2022 full. Not 2023. I don't know why, but 2022 they said 2024, 2025. Now, for the delivery robots, Dara finally put out, and here's why, because he got pressure from Uber investors. They got above 6% of the investors wanted knowledge on, instead of just saying, here's what we made, here's what we lost, expenses, here's the driver costs, blah. They're like, well, how many drivers in what market? Show us that breakdown, because now that autonomous is not real, we need to know how much those drivers make, because if they can't make a living wage, we ain't going to make a dime.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And 100%. So now Dara actually swapped. Dude, I've never seen anything like it. It was an article yesterday saying that Dara said like 40%, or he said up to 100. He said, hopefully 100% of delivery robots by 2040.
2040?
2040. He's always trying to make it better. That means 2050.
Exactly.
100%.
And that's 4 mile per hour igloo delivery cooler.
I still have the thing where it said by 2030 they were supposed to be all EVs.
Exactly, bro.
But I'm just saying that article dropped
Exactly.
yesterday. That's going to blow up. I mean, these are the investors know now. The investors never knew. They weren't watching us, and if they did, they're like, "What do these guys know?"
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and it's like, and like I've been talking about it for years. Like, dude, why'd the goalpost move? Why'd the marker move again? Why'd the marker move again? And why does it only move 1 year at a time? You know why it does? I think we all know, but it's because every year they get to put out a whole cycle with all the affiliate newspapers and news outlets that are tied in with that they're going to be autonomous next year. And the people from last year are so stupid they forgot they said it this year.
Mm-hmm. And so when and this is just a shot at all the Tesla haters. If don't hate me when I say this, but y'all know it's true. They get mad at Elon when he says, "Well, this is coming here this year." But yet these companies, how long? Oh, listen, Uber's been working on autonomous vehicles when Travis was still the CEO of the company. Dara was still over at Expedia.
That's probably the only time they were actually working on autonomous. Now they just buy and sell off. They're not involved. They're not a tech company. Involved.
No. Well, I can tell you this, going into earnings, Uber is trying to make its way back up a little bit. The stock price is going up. They're back up to $81. They were down around 70. Where were they at not too long ago? $68. But that was the whole market was down, though. Everything was down. That's the other thing that's a little deceiving when I look at the markets and I look at these companies in particular. They say, "Oh, our stock went up." No, the whole fucking market went up. "Oh, stock is down." Well, the whole market went down. Uber and Lyft need to understand something. No matter how hard they try, and this isn't a knock. This is a reality. I think it's a reality, right? Is you're never going to be essential. You're not essential.
Mm-mm.
Public bus is essential.
Yeah.
Right. Trains.
I have the mindset of, look, dude, they don't care about me. I don't care about them. I use them to make some money here and there.
Thank you.
That's it. Say it, Steven. Say it, Steven.
That's it. That is it. That's word for word what it needs to be. You guys don't work for them. You don't owe them a damn thing. They don't do anything for you.
I put my nose to the grindstone and I get I get all the money I can out of them. And when they're gone, I'll be like, "See ya, bye." Mm-hmm. Not gonna miss you.
So people have been getting mad at me or a little discouraged with me because I've been starting to do other things on this channel, right? But my executive producer here isn't the one encouraging me to open my horizons, to be more Vinny-like in the world.
Lies, false propaganda.
You need it. You just need. You know what, Vinny? You just need a second. You just need a second channel called Vinny's Rants.
Wait. 1 second.
They've said that, right?
Steve, hold on, Steve. Hold on.
Watch the channel blow up, dude. You quit.
I gotta address Mr. CNN over here, okay? Because Mr. CNN in the upper left-hand corner on my screen, okay? Yeah, that guy looking around. He's like, "Man, just do your thing, buddy." But the point, though, but all seriousness. The point is that you can't take rideshare serious anymore, and people get mad at me when I say that. It's like they've got this false hope. They got this false hope that they're going to wake up one morning, and rideshare is going to be all good again. And it's nothing but it's nothing. It's now money. I call it now money. That's all this shit is now money. I need money now. I can go. I can turn on my app, and if I want to go make $2.62, I know I can get that ride. I can go make that money. Mm-hmm. If I got to buy a gallon of milk, I go out, work for a half hour, buy a gallon of milk, and Scott Robinson says he loves CNN. Ban him from this channel. It's the only real news, guys. Hey, Lynn, how you doing, Lynn? By the way, shout out Lynn and Drivers Coast to Coast for all of my people that are on Twitter right now, and for everybody on YouTube. If you got time on Mondays, was that about 7:00? I think they start 7 p.m. right Eastern time.
I think so.
Go in and go check them out. It's called Drivers Coast to Coast.
Conversations are really good.
Yeah, they are. They're good conversations.
Yeah, Lynn.
Unlike ours,
Lynn, I forget it.
They actually have good conversations.
Put your handle in your Twitter handle in there, because I forget what it is. And
when's Mario coming on, bro? I try to get Mario all the time, bro. But Mario's got baseball card things going on, bro. He's got things going on, Mario. I like Mario. Mario's a good dude, man. I was down in the Grove the other day Steve, hadn't been down there in a minute. I had a City of Miami police officer going down there, and we were talking about the old hangar at Opelika Airport. And that back in the day in the 80s when the Cocaine Cowboys and everybody was down there, and when you would go down Lejeune coming out of Carroll City, you go down Lejeune Road, and you got the hangar over here. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, if you guys remember the original Bad Boys movie with Martin Lawrence and Will Slapaho Smith, right? And remember in there they blew up that big old hangar. Well, that was Opelika Airport. That was
isn't that every one of them?
What's that?
Doesn't every one of the Bad Boys ends with the hangar blown up?
Yeah, pretty much. But here was the thing. When you got down there and you would cut through the airport, you make a right. You cut through the airport to get to Hialeah. But if you made a left, deeper into Opelika, one way in, one way out, guess what you was met with? You was met with people with Uzis and that nature, because that's where all the dope was. That's where the big dope dealers were. So anyway, we had a good old time, man. But I went looking for Mario and I didn't find Mario. So
did you find his cart?
My bad, Joe. I didn't find shit.
Oh yeah, Mario Kart World. Hey, the new console's only 800. What is it going to cost you? Like $600? No big deal.
For what?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with nostalgia the rest of my life. Yeah. I'm going back to the oldest of games.
Okay, I just wanted to see if you were going to grab I thought you were going to grab yourself a Switch too.
Not
you were
Pogo.
excited for it.
Wait, not Pogo. Are we going to play Pogo with the little
some Pong?
Yeah, like Pong.
Yeah.
Pong.
Was that what it was? Pong or Pogo?
Yeah, Pong.
Dial.
Which one was first?
Yeah.
Atari? Was that the Atari?
I think they both used the wheel though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you could switch.
I remember the joystick. I don't remember the wheel. I remember the joystick. You had a little red dot and a joystick. You had a joystick and a little red dot. And then you had to go behind the TV and hold your hands on the antenna so that you can get the screen to work right. So I don't remember if the
Pong I'm thinking of was Atari now.
Was it Commodore 64?
Was it?
Maybe.
I don't know, man.
Could have been the Commodore.
I feel like
64.
it was none of them. I feel like it was this weird thing.
All right, let me see.
All right, come on, Steven. You're the guy here, buddy. So, Steve, while Steven's over there doing that, right?
I want to hear what your take on it is, because I heard you said you changed your mind. I've changed my mind many times, and I've talked to almost everybody involved. In fact, I talked to Stephanie Vigil tonight.
Atari Super Pong.
So I'm all too familiar. So what's up?
I'm not familiar. I am going to be as honest as I'm usually honest anyway. But just listening to your stuff that I've caught, some of the stuff on Twitter, I've heard Sergio's take on it. I've heard a lot of different takes on it. What is it that's going to hurt the driver? I want to know, because when I listen to everybody's and if you guys don't know, I'm going to let Steve explain it to you what's going on in Colorado, if you guys don't know. And this is major. Like, this is real shit. This is major.
So,
right?
There's a few reasons I don't personally like it, but you're going to hear the catch in here. So, for those not aware, I won't get into these. I've got videos on them, but there's already two transparency bills that went into effect this year. January 1st for the DNC for deliveries and February 1st for the TNC for rideshare. What you see up front is what you get paid. If somebody tip baits on Uber, you still get the full amount you were shown. That is transparency, and it shows full pay. It doesn't have any kind of base, but it says full pay, and right next to it, tip. Okay. So those people who are like, oh, a $12 DoorDash order, great tip, I'm going to take it. I took one the other night, $12, $0 tip, 2 miles. I mean, this is how they monkey around with money. But anyway, that's transparency bill. Those are running. There's another bill on the House floor right now. I'm drawing a blank on her name, but she in 2023, one of the House
she's a
House representative members from Colorado was sexually assaulted in a Lyft. And so here's my thing, and I don't mean to be a jerk. I'm all for her being on board with this bill. She should not be the spearhead of it. I don't think that when that's happened to you, that's I don't know. That's just my personal feeling, because if it needs to pass because it needs to pass, not because of sympathy because we've done that too many times.
You don't want the sympathy on it. You're right. You don't want the emotional part.
And I don't want to sound like a jerk, guys, but it's true. Because if like I have the sympathy for her, but if I put that into that vote, we're going to end up with crap.
Well, Vinny says has been saying it a lot recently. You know, what's it called? Make your decisions not based off of your emotions, but your wallet.
I vote with my wallet. Yeah, I vote with my wallet, not with my heart. But go ahead, Steve.
So here's the thing. So they have to, and again, Sergio and I had to speak too, because Sergio said that, you know, he's like, well, no, they're adding it into the bills I just talked about. They're adding it into the TNC transparency bill. They revised it. I said, no. They revised this bill. This bill is a standalone bill. It's called HB 25-1291. And what it is it's basically based around, hey, because of this person, we need to get these dash cams in every car needs a dash cam. It's, you know, say my name, check for the child lock, all the crap that never works. When all we've ever needed is an RF reader around our neck that they can just go, boop, that's him, like London does. Costs about $1.
Right.
But anyway, this bill says that the rideshare companies have to provide so Uber has to provide a dash cam. Whenever your Uber app is running, that dash cam turns on. You can have your own dash cam. I do. But you have to have one of theirs. And when the app is on, it turns on. Here's the craziest part. The reason that they say that they'll leave is because of the cost and the fact that they're going to be put into many fake lawsuits, which they would, and some real ones, but a lot of fake ones. But the fact is, each one of these has to have a phone number associated to it because it has to cloud upload every time you're on. They have to keep the footage for a year. If you guys aren't familiar, raw dash cam footage, because I have display ride monitoring service, there's a reason they charge for that. It's expensive to have a phone line. And any Uber driver that ever turns on, even if it's 1 hour a month, needs to have one of these.
Okay.
So everybody thinks, well, okay, it's just the cost and yeah, the liability. It's not. The big catch that people aren't talking about at all is that I already know what part of the if you're deactivated, because that was part of those other two bills, is that the other thing we asked for is that a human review. If you get deactivated, you can have a panel of 7 people human review you.
Okay.
So now, 2 of the people on that are big union push, but now they would obviously help you get back on. But we don't like that. I don't like that because they've already got their foot in the door with some things.
It's a bias. There's a bias,
and so they're waiting for. They love this bill not because it's going to help safety, even if it does, not because it's going to be because Uber's going to have to do this. They love it because the minute Uber puts a dash cam in a car, all of a sudden, and this sometimes I say go check your own state independent contractor law, but luckily tonight I just get to say this is in every state. So go look for yourself. You must be free and clear of the hiring entity. And that goes on to say a lot of things in a lot of states, but what that means is the hiring entity can't put anything in your car. They're not actually allowed to even tell us which mapping apps to use. They're not allowed to tell us which routes to take. They're not allowed to do any of this. And they've got away with a lot, but they put that camera in, and immediately the union's going to go, any driver with a camera is an employee. Boom.
That'll kill. So does that kill rideshare for a lot of people?
Well, that's why I was initially, now Sergio finally said to me, maybe you're right. Because I said to Torsten and Sergio, I said to both of them, they're threatening to pull out, and Sergio's like, it's the playbook. I'm like, dude, I wrote the playbook with you. Come on, man. Like, we wrote it together in person here in Denver. Like, we know the playbook. You guys know the playbook. Yes, it is the playbook, but here that playbook doesn't apply. So Uber has said they will leave.
Okay, but
our House of Representatives goes on break May 8th. So either May 6th or May 7th, which is next week, this will get a read and a vote. The House already voted 59-7 in favor of it. And the Senate committee that heard it out before it hits the Senate floor, 11-0 in favor of it. So if that's any sign, it's going to pass.
So couple things here.
Some people's clock will be ending soon, right?
I don't know how everybody. I know some news knows it, and they don't just want to talk about it. But I don't know what I don't know why other people aren't talking about that labor part, though. I guess I really focus on a lot of labor stuff.
Well, yeah, no, because again, you don't let a crisis go to waste.
The union fangs are out. They're drooling at the mouth, just waiting for this thing.
Because I was
are you a right to work state, Steven, or Steve? Oh, you guys
are we? No,
you're frozen.
Yeah, you're frozen.
Oh, you know what? Let me catch this. I got him.
I think that was my Wi-Fi.
Are we right?
There you go.
Are you a right? Steve, are you a right to work state? No. Okay, so you're a union state.
I mean, dude, you know what? When I first moved here, we were red. We kind of went to purple for a while. We're bluer. I thought you knew. We're bluer than you can be now.
Well, I mean, I know you guys have.
I mean, we got problems that
become more.
You got to be kidding me. That's
problems.
An actual thing.
Yeah, you guys got real problems.
Yeah, we have real.
And I love Colorado, man. I love Colorado.
Yeah, me too. That's why I moved here. But this is weird.
I got problems.
So here's my question about the dash cams. Okay, there are people there are independent contractors that are truckers that they lease their vehicles through companies like Prime Inc. Right? Prime Inc. If you don't know, Prime Inc. will rent you a semi truck. Will rent you trailers. If you're a driver, you get your CDL. You're an independent contractor. You're not an employee of them. And they also act as dispatcher for you. Okay. They pretty much, they're your Uber. Okay.
You're welcome, Lynn.
I think I see that more like Cobra insurance, but okay. I mean, because really, like if your truck blows up, maybe you needed a couple because you have to buy their insurance and yeah.
But what I'm saying is that they are now making, because of insurance requirements, making truck drivers put these dash cams in their trucks. Okay. And they have to have they don't have a choice in it. Companies got to put the dash cams in these trucks to protect themselves. And there's a couple of people I follow that vlog. You know, you guys know me. I'm all about the vlog, right? And so I see, I'm thinking about that in that respects. That's number one. Number two, at what point, and I'm seeing what Mr. DSN is saying in here too, and I should, you know what, I should shoot him a link and let him come on the show, because I really want to know how is it unsafe? But how is it unsafe for the things that they want is what I'm trying to understand. I mean, if we're looking for safety, dash cam safety,
because
do you really think Uber would destroy the footage if it was a driver getting fucked up in the car versus, the rider getting messed up in the car?
No, but I think first of all, you're underestimating the data haul for a year of 30,000 drivers.
No.
And storing it and being able to access any, but
right.
The other,
I get that.
I mean, the other thing, yes, having a dash cam is great, but Uber storing it. I mean, this whole bill is meant to is kind of a witch hunt, man. I don't want to sound like Trump here, but it's a witch hunt, bro. Well, because they're trying to railroad them out of town, man. They literally are at a point of, and even, dude, if I know you probably do, Vinny, but if other people don't, Jared Polis, I don't agree with him at all. My governor, he's absolutely one of the worst in the country. He's opposed to this bill. He's opposed to this bill.
Well, but you know why
he said you can do a better job, work on this more. My point there being, he signs off on everything.
Yeah, well, he's also bought and paid for it, so I wouldn't be surprised if
I'm just right. But I'm saying, like, clearly, dude, if he's going to get free Uber rides for a year, you know what I mean? I'm joking, but you know what I mean. I mean, they can still pass it by without him. They don't need Polis.
So let me ask you this then, Steve. Being as connected into the system as you are, what would you change in this bill that would make it safe for riders and drivers? What would you change? Forget Uber, forget Lyft, right? Forget all that bullshit. What would you change?
I would say, first of all, the other conflict, by the way, is that by every TOS we're defined as independent contractors.
Right.
So again, if I was in a company vehicle, a camera might be necessary, and that's fine. Can't be in my independent contractor one, but I, as an independent contractor, have one. So why doesn't Uber just make a deal with some company? And I'm not saying they would do the worst ones, but I'm saying doing something decent, one that costs probably, you know, like a cost of $20-$15, whatever, and they would normally sell for $50. Send one of those cameras out to everybody with an SD card. Boom. Because I am my own boss. Once Uber passes me the client, we all know this. If you get in an accident, it's almost impossible.
Uber did make that deal though, but Uber did have that deal. Uber had a deal with a dash cam company, and everybody got notices in their inbox.
Okay,
right?
but here's part of the bill that maybe you don't know too, is that this also,
that's why I'm asking.
So they tie, you know how they tie in something that nobody wants to a good bill sometimes, and you got to
crisis.
Yeah. Okay, so this actually, if you heard about the case a couple of weeks back in California about the all the females who have been sexually assaulted being able to go to court at once, this is a huge win. A lot of people saw it like, well, that's just going to be these 5-cent payouts, and you know, it's not going to do anything. So who cares? Like, that's just going to be no, because every woman gets to be heard. Finally, they've been able to block this. So now you can sue Uber independently in that state. Well, now here in Colorado, they tied that into this bill, that you will be able to sue Uber and the driver for any claim you make. And while I think that is your right as a person, I think that Uber as a culture has developed, has trained people not to tip. I mean, you couldn't even in the beginning. They've trained them not to tip.
Yeah.
They've allowed tip removal.
To ask you. Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you tip up front and you have a bad ride, just hope your next one isn't. That's what it is. It's bid on service. It's not a tip. It's different than working in a restaurant. Right. But they allowed you that. They have these fake safety features. They don't do anything. So it's I don't know. I think that the fact that they will be open to litigation, that's in there is part of their argument, is that they're like, listen, we wouldn't even be able to touch the amount of litigation. So that's why I told Sergio, I don't think this is their normal threat. Maybe Uber, I don't know. Nobody knows, but I have talked to lobbyists. I have talked to a House member, and I have talked to some other people, and I always do. And I've talked to some news outlets, and I yelled at a news outlet today that did know what I just told you guys about that everybody being an employee. And in fact, I'm just gonna say
that would be the one point that would bother me. That's the only thing. I'm not gonna lie to you, Steve. That's the only thing that would bother me.
I got a great connection at Channel 7 News, and I'm not going to say their name, but check this out, because they're really good at helping me understand some things. I asked him about that, and he said, yeah, I know that. And I said, well, put it out, dude. And he's like, we have sponsorship from Uber. So and I've always known this. They all do. And that's why I said, like, you can give somebody the juiciest story ever at the Chicago Tribune, but they can take it to their editor, and their editor can go, moron, we work with these people. You can't run this story.
That's right. Well,
that's why people call it fake news. I don't call it fake news. I call it.
Yeah, but Steve, you remember when Minnesota was having that? Remember when Minnesota, the little local town board or whatever, at first they were like, yeah,
call the city council, but okay.
$28 an hour. That's right. Blah, 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 blah. And then 2 weeks later, half of them was like, no, I'm good. But listen, construction on my new swimming pool over here, we're going to start that. And they went against them. That's why it's, kind of why I made the wise ass remark about your governor. I know that fucker's on the take.
Sucks. Dude, but our mayor's even worse. So that's our whole state's a mess, dude. Don't even get me started.
My thing at the end of the day, bro, is I don't want to see anybody lose access. Definitely don't want to see anybody lose access to work.
They passed this bill. Uber says they're leaving. And I honestly, and I even told Sergio as a joke, I said, I'm like, I understand they've cried wolf 1,000 times, but let's not forget California. They said they'd leave California. They did not do it. California folded 5 minutes before midnight. and said, never mind, we can't afford to have the disruption of rideshare being down. People won't get to work. Never mind. You can have your Prop 22 bill in November. And this was January 1st when AB 5 went in effect. And they said, you can
but
operate.
If somebody doesn't stand up to these corporations, then we wind up in the exact fucking, excuse me, didn't mean to curse, the exact situation that we are now on a federal level, on a world stage level. See, at some point, you got to rip that Band-Aid off, right? At some point, you got to punch the bully in the mouth. You want to leave, take your ass on down the road. They did the shit in Austin. Remember when they dipped in Austin?
Yeah, no, right? I've talked about this many times.
Right. And Austin thought they were going to fall apart and blah, blah, blah. Somebody stepped right up. They tried to create did they create an Uber? No.
Three companies. Did what they had to do. Right. 3 new companies came.
And then Uber, and what did Uber do? Eventually, they wound up going right back into Austin.
They got they got asked to come back or begged, please come back, because it was a disruption.
Okay, but see, I got my own opinions on that, right? Asked to come back, paid to come back, slip somebody a Mickey's to get them to come back. There's so many different ways you can look at it.
Paid to come back. You already alluded to it. And it's the same thing we talked about with autonomous. They're all shady. They're all
100%.
But this is an entire state now. And
I know, and
you move out 30,000 drivers, you are going to disrupt. And when I say that, guys, don't think, wow, that's all you have. We really only have Denver. I mean, Colorado Springs and Fort Collins are whatever, but Denver is like most of our people. That's it. Like,
it's most of your population.
Yeah, I mean, you take rideshare away from Denver, we're screwed, because a lot of things that have come up downtown don't even have parking garages on 22-story buildings.
Right. See, I didn't know the employee aspect of that up there. That's the one thing that's new to me from what you're telling me, because
and Uber knows it. I talked to an Uber lobbyist who said, we know
Scott,
this.
I think I sent you an email already.
And so that Uber lobbyist, I was like, so clearly I don't even need to ask. That's why you're leaving. And they were like, yeah, of course. Like we can't sit around for this. That would
probably be the only reason. Now, as far as being open to litigation, they need to get their asses sued. They do. They do, because they get away with way too much shit. You know, it's like, it's easy for us on our shows, on our videos, Sergio and them on their videos, whatever. Oh, if you don't like it, quit. Oh, you should stop driving. It's easy for us to sit here and say that shit. But a lot of us got to get up in the morning. We got to turn on the app. We ain't got no choice. We got to turn on the app, right? We got to go to work. It's a way we make money. Right.
And I'm not going to be mean here, but what if not, what are you going to do? And I don't mean this mean, but like right now in April or May tomorrow, in May of 2025, what are you going to go do if you stop gig work? And I'm only saying that because there's a lot of people without jobs right now doing anything.
100%. Oh, and see, that's at the end of the day.
That's what I was trying to ask Vinny.
But that's where Uber and Lyft and DoorDash and Spark and whatever the fuck else app is out there, that's where they got you by the balls, because we got sucked into this. They sucked us into it, and then they put us the frog in the boiling water pot, right? And that's just it. We're boiling slowly to death until our cars fall apart, right? And the only saving grace, and I hate to say this, but I was going to say this earlier. I hate to say it, but Uber's going to come out smelling like
Mr. Gambit
after stepping in shit. Because, hold on 1 second, Steven. Because as ICE is taking away and getting rid of these drivers that are illegal accounts and this, that, and the other off the platform, I saw something on Twitter where somebody was going nuts telling them, hey, ICE, go to the airport queues. You'll get all the drivers you want, right? All right. Listen, now people are 20,000 UPS drivers, Thomas said, is getting ready to come off. So as those illegal accounts go away, legal accounts will be coming back on.
Right.
So they're going to have plenty of supply. I don't know, bro. That's a tough deal. Some kind of way Uber's got to get punched in the face.
Yeah.
I just don't know who's going to do it or how you're going to do it. I didn't know about the employee part of it, because I don't think, and
dude, me, Steve, that's the thing.
You know me.
That's why I always appreciate your support, Vinny, because I do put the real out there. And other real, like, dude, huge media, the biggest newspaper in your whatever city all of you live in can't write the article I just told you about.
Because they're on the tape.
Their editor will say, dumbass, no.
Right. That's what you see. But now you get into why people go to. I hate to say it, Steve. I always say it, Steve. What do I always say? It's no disrespect to nobody else. Nobody is more in touch with what's going on from an unbiased position than you are. That's why I always say that shit. Nobody is more in touch from an unbiased position. That's not saying that anybody else is. So if you're listening, bro, I ain't saying that. I'm just saying this is why people go to social media for their news. This is why they go to Twitter. This is why they go to YouTube, Rumble, or wherever the hell they're at, right? By the way, y'all, we are live on Twitter right now as well. And I need to do this real quick because if I don't do this, my executive producer is going to get pissed off at me. So don't go nowhere yet. Just hold on. Just hold on. Okay, I had to do that. I had to pay some bills. I don't know who I'm paying, but they got paid. There you go. Anyway, it's a tough deal, man. That employee part is the tough deal because if that automatically splits, that carve out needs to be made. And that's why I asked, what would you do differently with the bill to not only satisfy a rider and how make them feel safer, but also the driver getting the first, because there's two sides to that coin there.
I guess the number, you know what, honestly, the first thing I would do is work. I hate to say that I'm literally going to agree. This is the first time ever I'm going to agree with Polis a little. At least I know what you're saying is ties, but there needs to be a lot more done. There needs to be studies done, but also push this bill in 12 or 18 months. You just shoved 2 laws down our throat with the gig economy. And I'm not trying to defend the companies. Let them digest that first, because that's big already. The transparency thing's huge and they don't like it. Let them digest that. We know that nobody involved, the state of Colorado, Uber, the unions, nobody cares about our safety. And that's a fact. I don't care if any of you want to debate me on that. I'll debate you all day. There's nobody in the loop that cares about your life other than your family. Period.
So, but you're referring to drivers. What about the riders? I mean, they have a right to. We both of us have a right. Both the rider and the driver have should. Oh God, I hate to say this. Should have an expected outcome of safety when we go to work. Not that that's ever going to happen, but
yeah, but
there's reasonable expectation that, I mean,
dude, people walk into Walmarts and shoot people. We have more school shootings in this state than any state in the country.
Yes, you do. Yeah, that's 100%.
I mean, I'm just saying the world ain't safe.
I would hope, and after y'all went legal with the weed, everybody would have chilled out. But I guess that didn't happen out there in Colorado.
Mm-mm.
That's a shame, man. Colorado's such a beautiful fucking state, man.
But that's what I'm saying, dude. Life's just not safe.
Well,
I mean, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I go out in it every day, every night. I don't care. I know what to do. I know how to handle myself. I know where to go, and even areas I shouldn't be that I'm comfortable. I know how to handle me. I taught my son how to handle him. But you guys need to handle if you're not comfortable in your city at night, don't go out at night.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Until things get fixed. I'm not saying give up, but I mean, the only way
I just want to see
flip the script, you know.
And while I do agree with you that maybe that legislator shouldn't be the one spearheading this, it's a real issue. And if nobody, God, man, there's no right answer to that question, bro. Your situation that you guys got out there in Colorado right now, there's no right answer.
No, I hear you. If it was just straight up based on you'll have a camera running, here's what I propose too. I know the only reason they don't do it is because Uber likes to go with a background check of Checker for $25. I know that from when I worked at Para, or $23 is all you get.
Right.
So that background check is worth nothing. But why would Uber hold all of our data for a year? Why wouldn't they? And if you guys aren't familiar, there's a company called Argyle.io. They handle most of the data in the country. That's their website, Argyle.io. You'll see every company, Google, everybody, Oracle, they're all stored there. Why can't they store our data safely there? Because they don't ever get hacked. Uber gets hacked 16 times a day.
It's true.
But my point is, again, they're a tech company. We vertical takeoff landing, autonomous. We're going to land on rooftops. oh, we're gonna handle all your video footage from your camera. No, dude, I don't trust you.
Well, and then that's a whole
you,
nother
bro.
ballgame. That's a whole nother ballgame.
Right, but that's why I say even if they did say this bill's trash.
Well, you know, we look at Ring, right? So Ring, you know, the footage on your Ring cameras in your house, your doorbells and all that is not your property. That all footage, all video footage is property of Ring. Mm-hmm. You know, and they have sold your shit out. I ain't got no Ring on my house, but they have sold your video footage out to the highest bidder for whatever reason. So I get it. Man, that's a tough deal.
But Mr. Gambit, Uber hasn't proven themselves to be anything more than just occasionally they send you offers. Back in the day, 10 years ago, we loved it because I cleaned my car every night. I put it full of gas. I was proud.
Oh yeah,
the money was
water.
And declined. I mean, now I'm handling people's laundry, and I can smell stuff in the back of the car. Nobody's cleaning their cars. Nobody's doing.
Steve, I laughed when I saw drivers will not be allowed to offer water or snacks. I'm like, who the fuck still does that shit?
Yeah.
Right. Well, because that actually ties into the bill because they think that somebody would put something in the water or
exactly. Like I don't even.
Right. If somebody offers me water, I'm going to be like, you keep your roofie colada. I'm just kidding. I'm cool back here, man.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. No, thank you. I haven't, you know, there was a time where it was when I was driving nothing but Premier, right? And Lux Black SUV. It was nothing but the smart water in the car. I'm trying to think of the name, but I can't think. No Dasani, not that salt heavy shit. None of that spring water, Zephyr Hills, plastic taste. No, these are good riders. I'm going to give them good
guys.
You know, the last time I put water in my car was for me and me only.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. I hear somebody.
Oh, okay. There you go. Cool. I was about to say because I was like, wait a minute. I know I'm not on mute. Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, definitely to piggyback off your point about when Austin had their whole little closure with Uber threatening to leave. Well, Tampa had the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
The
only
city
two cities.
Yeah, the city council had wanted all the drivers to be fingerprinted. And if they would have told Uber that we have to be fingerprinted and they voted on it and they passed it, one of those companies that was in Austin was in that city council room in Tampa, and he was showing the app and he was like, look, for a customer, here's your top 5 drivers. You can see if any of them gonna be online, which ones you like, and it was up to you as the driver to build your own clientele. If that would have went down, because I said if they wanted the fingerprint, it wouldn't have been a lot of people out there, and you'd have still cleaned up because of it, you know. So, but a lot
of good background checks involve a fingerprint. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Look, I mean, I'm of the theory like the TNC drivers in London. I wouldn't want to live under London law. However, having a lanyard with my picture and an RF reader that once a year I pay out of pocket $125 for, I'll do that. That covers my background check, and it's my RF reader to every app I onboard to. So the person walks up and goes, "Yep,
I agree."
There you go. Security fixed, and I'll pay for it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was so for the fingerprinting. I was like, yep, because you can see those illegal accounts starting way back when.
Well, I could have started an account for Vinny or Steven or you.
Yeah.
I mean, for years, I could have just started an Uber account and said, here you go.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not talking about Facebook sales and all the new things that have gone on. I'm just talking about like, I could have just started one and said, here's my login, go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
I mean, we used to be able to put, you put pictures of dogs, and I've picked up the man before that had gold teeth only as the profile avatar, like I don't want to do that in the middle of the dark, but I mean, I grew up in
Picking up
Michigan.
God?
I'm from Detroit, so nothing in Denver
how
even
many-
looks like a ghetto.
How many people have been summoned to pick up God? I've been asked by God to come pick him up a few times.
Wow.
Oh, God. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Bink. Nope.
Yeah.
Gone. See ya. Have
I remember a
nice
meme
day.
of Uber Eats that said Jesus is out front with your food. Somebody had posted this, and then at the bottom it said, "Uber, are you threatening me?"
Well, I had fat Tootsie, so that was my claim that I had my
Who?
weird name. I had
What was
Fat
your weird
Tootsie.
name?
Fat Tootsie.
See, why? And I don't mean this mean, but why should anybody, like Uber from the beginning should have made us use real names, real pictures, matched. Even when you're setting up a passenger account, they need to see your ID. I'm sorry. One time when we're setting the account up.
They've always come with the attitude of what do we have to do?
Right, but I'm not saying like type in stuff because you want to get an audience quickly. You want to get the passengers quickly, but just say, take a picture of your ID and upload it. Yeah. You'll never have to do it again, but do that and then take a selfie. There you go. We got your picture. Now use your real name. That should have been done long ago.
And see, here's the thing. This is why I said what I said earlier. Then what happens is, it's like the Grand Canyon, bro. At one point, the Grand Canyon was a little split of dirt. And it kept going and going and going and going and going. Same thing what we got here with our national deficit, right? We started with the bullshit after World War II, after Vietnam. We started with the bullshit. Now everybody's crying because their fucking eggs are costing $10 a dozen. But at some point, you got to fix the shit. And this is shit that these apps should have done back then. And now they're crying because they're not going to get their $136 million fucking bonus. Boo-hoo. Not my fucking problem. Right? Exactly. And now they're all pissed off, right? And bro, I'll be right back.
You guys we all got to take advantage of these weird situations, like while all this tariff stuff's going on, I had already been thinking about, and here I'm gonna give you an idea. Anybody wants to do it, run with it. But like luckily we got a bunch of farms one way and the Rockies the other, and we sit right there at the base. Well, those farmers are having some issues right now with transportation stuff and whatnot. Why not like a farm to table thing, which hotels and other things are banking on right now? Farm to table. I'll go to the farm and I'll deliver it to your house. Go. I mean, I know it sounds way crazy to a lot of you. Go talk to a farmer.
No, we got a lot of farms out here.
Go to a big farm and say, dude, what do you farm? Eggs. Yeah. Cool. You want me to move whatever you got on a certain day?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's workable. Definitely. Yeah, because they got over here.
It's called hustling and just I mean, it's just
5
like service
avocados
industry.
for $1.
Not everybody's meant to be in this space.
Right.
Oh,
and a lot of them got spoiled during the great years.
Exactly.
During the honeymoon period.
And then made them think
they
that
were the W-2 mentality. But
they've watered down the idea of side hustles.
It's just not.
You just got to make
you want it to be
dude.
easy. You want it to just be an app that you log into. It's not coming up with ideas and concepts and then becoming the middleman and making money from greasing whatever the system is.
God, this is a panel of truth, dude.
Dude.
Yeah,
I gotta say this.
Problem, you solve that problem and do it for a bunch of different people. That's a side gig.
Okay. I gotta say something here. I don't know. Okay. It's been, I've been trying to get Gambit on this goddamn show.
I got him.
A goddamn day.
I got him.
I'm not going to say what it took to get him here, but it wasn't me or Steve. That's all I'm going to say. It wasn't me or Steve.
Do you know it's him, Ethan? Anybody can write that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's me. No joke. It's me.
That sounds like Brandon to me.
Yeah,
that sounds like Brandon from Chicago to me.
Come on, guys.
Let me see that little chubby face.
Where's
the Brandon from Chicago?
Where's the glasses? We got a black square.
Well, that's what I'm saying, guys. I'm at a game. I'm not at the game, but I'm actually watching the game right now. I figured I'd come on and just say hello to you. I know
all right.
Come on,
bro. Know you're welcome here. I've been trying to get you here forever.
Another
man of common sense.
For real, though.
Man, listen, you bring a lot of common sense to the chat.
I know, man. It's about logic.
I like common sense.
Yeah,
I
if
like
it don't
common
make dollars,
sense.
it don't make sense, and that's
Common
what I
sense
concentrate
ain't
on
so
every
common.
day.
Bro. If it don't, okay, 50 Cent. I hear you there. Let me go get Gyllenhaal to start the fight. All right, let me go Gling at Southpaw, right? That was the name of the movie. South. I'm a movie trivialist, bro. I love my movies, man. I ain't gonna lie. Don't make money, don't make sense, bro.
Right.
Yes,
And,
sir.
and that's what I concentrate on. I had to stop driving for Uber for a minute because, expensive car, looking good, got some private clients. But man, them $3 trips, and you got an electric vehicle, you got to spend over $400 for every week. The math was not adding up.
The math was not.
No, and that's right. You were with the Mach-E for a while, right?
Yeah, that's what I had. I was rolling in that. I had a couple of them. I was gonna stick with it for a while, but I kept looking at the math. The math basically says you can do some private trips. If you got to fuel your private clients, you'll break even. Sometimes you make some money. But Uber, even at the airport, man, you got to look at that airport pool, and they will dish out more 67 cents a mile trips for people night and day. I worked at airport round the clock testing it, and they don't give a screw. All they want to do is book a trip and make money.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Oh shit!
I
What
wasted
the hell?
a couple of hours last night.
I'm hanging with you guys, and look what's going on. Fake surge
Is that
everywhere
fake?
in my market.
That sucks.
Hell yeah, that's fucking fake. You want to know why? Oh shit! Well, you know what? I take that back. It might not be fake. You know why? The airport queue is really low right now. If you're an ex-driver, 65 cars. That's good for that one. But F1, we got F1 this weekend. If y'all in South Florida, we got F1 this weekend at Joe Robbie. Yeah, no, 65 Premier, 70 Comfort. Yeah, no. Wow. Okay, $14 surge. I mean, read them and weep there, Steven in LA. We got $14, baby, somewhere.
If it's real, though.
Well, see, that's the thing, guys. You
You'd have to go $14, Vinny, because we don't know it's real.
They'll try to give you
I am not going back out there right now, bro.
Say it again,
Scott. On the other side of town.
Say it again, Scott.
Look at it's Uber math.
Yeah. I will say this though, if you pay attention enough, depending on how you work, everybody knows how I work. When the crowd goes left, I go right. That's just the way it is, right? And I got no problem doing that. But over the last couple of weekends, I have found a lot of fake surge. $2, $3, $2, $3, $2, $3, $2, $3. You go into the area, you're scooping it up. It's not even disappearing on you. There's no demand there. You sit there for 5, 10, 15 minutes. There ain't nothing going on there. And you just got to be aware, a little bit more market aware, you know. So,
I mean,
Mr. Gambit, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Steven.
No, go ahead.
Steve? No. Go ahead.
I was going to say, in my market, there's, just near, it's not exactly like by where Driven Dad Tony is, but just up from there a little bit, there's an area of like cluster of bars that were just built. And rideshare drivers don't go there at night, never surges. But if you go there, the pay that comes through as a rideshare driver is not the crap you're seeing all over Denver. Because they know there's no drivers there, and they're not doing anything to drive them out there either. But there are people needing rides left and right, and they're paying like real rates.
That's why I like going to Ventura County over here.
You just gotta. I mean, like we always said, find your fishing holes and don't tell other people. But man, now it's really hard to find those fishing holes.
Well, I'll tell you the real kicker, guys, for the reservations, especially in the morning here in Los Angeles, when you get those trips, if they're too low, I don't accept. That means if you give me $2.50, $3 a mile, I'll take that reservation anywhere from 3 o'clock in the morning till 6 in the morning. I'll go out and do it. But they don't have them right now. So what they'll do, they'll put out the shitty rate of saying, go to Santa Monica, take someone in for a reservation for $16. Don't do it. Now, this is what happens when I have one that's juicy. What they actually do is, okay, they book. And this is what I find out from all these people, that when I do a trip and I drop somebody off coming from the airport, then there is someone going from Santa Monica back to the airport, and it's a surge. You know why they're surging it? They book these trips pre-advance. And if they don't have anybody, then they surge it up for the driver who may be in the area. They don't do it all the time, but they do it sometimes. So when you're out there, they'll just surge it up because they overbook every night, and they don't even have drivers to put in the damn car for sure.
Yeah, last night the rates were coming in at $60 an hour rate. But then the rides started clipping off at like 8 o'clock.
Right, it's a big old game, man. I think they're testing the field because they know the drivers right now were weary on doing these cheap ass trips, and now they want to play the game of, well, let's surge it up for the veterans and see can we get a veteran or two to come out here and do this shit.
Yeah, see, that's why
I tell you what. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's why I try to catch all my reservations going as far west as I can. You know, I go west and then I come back. Either I end up coming back down to LAX or I end up going over to Burbank Airport, and I can start my day with almost it'll be somewhere between $60 and $100, and then give or take if it goes up with the tip.
Right. So, I'll tell you, but when Uber does that, guys, don't be afraid. Make sure you're accepting MasterCard, Visa. Do the friends and family on the spot there. When you get that pissed off customer who knows that he had a reservation, that means you said, look, I'll take MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Cash App. I don't give us crap. I'm going to bring you in for 65 or 75. You got this reservation no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And that's book with me next time.
Yeah.
Because Uber's playing this damn game, and us veteran drivers who've been doing it for a while, it's a damn shame they're trying to treat us that way, knowing we know exactly what these trips should cost, but they still want to give you the sucker rate to see if you're a sucker that moment.
Right.
Yes, sir. Well, that's why I say when you see all the if you're getting nothing but trip radars, you ain't the sucker.
Right.
If you're getting nothing but exclusive rides, you are the sucker.
Right.
And it's just the way it is, It's just the way it is. I'm looking at how this surge is moving around for me in my area, right? It's moving around and doing its thing, and this is just there ain't nobody out here.
But okay, I'm gonna tell you a little trick, and I'm putting it out there just in case anybody watches. They don't really know. I'm gonna call these I call them crazy Ivan surges. These are the ones that sometimes are up on the side of a hill. Don't make no sense that a damn surge is on the side of a hill. Uber does that, but when they do that, mark that spot in your mind for yourself. Sometimes that crazy Ivan appears just out of the freaking blue. As your phone is on, you cut your phone on right there. If it's a $40 or $15 or $20 one, you lock it on your phone, and it's on your phone. Once it's on your phone, they can't take it away.
That's it. Yeah.
No, see, what happens is they used to put them over here in the cemetery by Inglewood. Do you know how crazy it is in the middle of the freaking night at 2 a.m? Who's going to drive in the middle of a cemetery and pick anybody up? They know anybody's not driving in the middle of a cemetery. They know that already.
Who the hell? They actually put the surge in the middle of a cemetery?
They put it in a cemetery. And I told myself one night, I said, God, if you're playing tricks on me, telling me there's adults out there I got to go pick up, it messed with my head a little bit. I said, wait a minute. If there's somebody out here in the middle of the night, but no, they were close to the forum, but they were sticking the surge over in the cemetery. That's what that was about.
That's like a Uber employee gone rogue who's just waiting to be fired. He's like, whatever, dude. Here, go here.
Right.
Go to the cemetery, man. A lot of dead people over there need a ride.
Listen, we will get surges in the middle of Biscayne Bay, in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and in the middle of the goddamn Everglades. Ain't nothing out in the Everglades but some damn alligators and crocodiles and pythons, man.
Don't you feel sorry for that sucker who actually drives out there and get ate by a gator trying to pick up someone? That's a damn shame.
And the person uses a gator as their avatar and says their name is Gator.
You ain't lying.
You'll see me right down by the water. I got hearing issues. Tap me on the shoulder.
Here's one, Steve and Thomas. I don't know if you guys heard this yet. I just saw it yesterday. We now have caiman in the Everglades. A 6-foot mother with about 5 babies have been found in the Everglades now. We now have caiman.
You flexing up? Flexing up, Scott?
I'm a moron. What is a caiman?
That's the South American baby alligator.
Okay.
You got alligators, crocodiles, and then you got the smaller ones that you see in the Amazon.
And big anaconda snakes out there. If you're walking out there and the big snakes get
that's the one thing I hope never gets out here. I hope we got 30-foot pythons out here in the glades, bro. We got plenty of those. It's no joke. It's like
I'm out doing search and rescue backcountry, and I see rattlers all the time. And dude, you sneak up on those guys sunbathing, and they're on the trail because they love the trail. They get to sit right in the sun. And you're like, and if you scare them, it's like that tail just jumps, and your first reaction is to jump back and don't do it.
Nope.
Don't do it, dude.
Well, here's the problem with if caiman now if they become invasive into the glades as well, it's another alpha predator in the glades. So now it's like it's like I was explaining to my wife. You got crocs and alligators, you got the pythons, and now you got caiman. You already the Florida Panthers endangered. All the deer, the hog, all the other wildlife, they're all prey, bro. They ain't eating shit out there. They're the ones getting eaten, and so now it starts to eat up that part of the ecosystem. Now your entire ecosystem changes.
Well,
It's
maybe the
same thing like down
mothership
here.
over the Gulf of America could transport those guys back to
I
where
like
they
how you
should
said
be.
that, Steve. I like how you said that, Steve. I like how you said that, Steve. Gulf of America. I know Scott wouldn't know anything about
Oh.
that. You know, his liberal Nancy Pelosi ass over there. I understand. You know, I get it. I get it.
Isn't it
you
Gulf
know,
of Mexico?
Yeah. Well, it depends on what side of the border you're on, sir.
Gulf of Uber. Looking it up right now.
You look like you could talk like this, man. So I don't want to hear it, okay, bro? I tell you something right now, man. Don't make me do it, bro. Anyway, I have fun, y'all. Y'all don't like it? Too bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, Scotty Too Hottie.
Oh, it does say it.
Oh, there he is. He froze for that.
Who, me?
No, it was Vinny froze for a
Vinny?
second. Now he's just doing it on purpose.
Yeah, I saw his nose move.
You saw my nose move? Damn.
Yeah.
His nose hair.
So let me get this
His
right.
nose-
Mr. Gambit's out working the game, but Scotty Too Hottie's at home. I don't understand this.
Well,
Damn,
see,
what game? What game?
I done told about 3 girls already. Let me make my money, and you can be my summer bunny, and they're already ready for that. So I ain't even
God
trying to do that
damn.
until I
Boy,
stack
look
some
at here.
cash.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to meet Mr. Gambit. He's going to have on the bright green shirt with the nice yellow jacket going on with the large lapel. He'd be like, hey, man.
And
He's
a
gonna have
cane.
nice leather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
he's gonna have
gator, the
cane
gators.
and the
Yeah,
gators.
the gator shoes.
I
Yeah.
got my gators on, bro.
Pure snake skin.
Ain't nothing
What
like a
game are
fresh
you
pair
at?
of baggies and some Stacey Adams, man. I still wear them.
Man, hush your mouth. I got Stacey Adams in the closet. Stop it. I got my Stacey's in the closet, man. I've been wearing Stacey since high school, bro. I was Stacey Boots. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Scotty, what are you doing, buddy?
Oh, nothing much. Just watching the show, and I was watching the Laker game. So,
Are
we getting
the
words?
Lakers getting whooped again?
Yeah.
Are they getting whooped again?
Oh, okay.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, they're getting
Yeah.
whooped, but they're coming back right now. So they're playing hard. They know this is a closeout game. They lose this, they got to get the pitching poles out, and they're fishing for the summer.
That's
Well,
right.
you know,
2-3
listen,
games.
LeBron, it's time to go, and Luka will be in Miami next year. And, Luka will be in Miami next year. Yeah. Luka and maybe Giannis, maybe.
No one's going there.
Listen, you're not coming here. You've been banned, okay? You ain't allowed in the damn
They
state.
can't afford to live there.
He's like, oh.
Huh?
even
Yeah,
they,
right.
even
it's
they can't
expensive
afford it
now,
anymore.
buddy. It's expensive now.
They'll be
buddy.
in
Let me tell
a
you.
2-bedroom apartment.
I wish.
I had a
Damn.
I picked up a rider. I picked up a rider the other day from PBI. It was a Uber Premier ride, and we're heading out to Highland Beach. If you guys don't know what Highland Beach is, it's Millionaire Row. Okay, the houses out there. I thought I stood corrected. I thought they were $30-40 million homes on the water. Right, no big deal, and lots of them. This woman out of the blue. We weren't even talking. Out of the blue, she said, "Can you believe they want $78 million for that house?" I'm thinking she's on the fucking phone or something. Like, who are you talking to? Hey, ma'am, miss, you talking to me? She said, "Yeah." Oh, look at this one. It's $82 million. And she's showing me her phone. I'm like, the hell? I was like, oh, that sounds kind of expensive. Where's it at? Oh, it's right down the street from me. What the fuck? You know, that bitch didn't tip me in the app. She didn't tip me.
I wouldn't either.
And it's probably gated, so you can't get back over there. It's like Star Island.
Bro, listen.
Go back,
I
go
know.
up on a jet ski, come up on the guy's yard and be like, "Pay me my tip, man. Come on."
No, this is straight on the beach, bro. This is straight on the ocean. This is no island. This is Highland beaches. It's there.
Star
they got
Island's
some
no
money there,
joke
bro.
for price either, though.
Oh man, the dude I used to work
Stephans and
when I had my
Come
private
on.
business. So listen, the boob god is Dr. Leonard Hochstein. His wife Lisa and he were on the original Housewives of Miami. I used to transport his clients when they would come in for the plastic surgery. They call him the boob god for a reason. I've never seen his work, but I've seen his work, if that means anything. You know what I mean? And an amazing. But he lives on Star Island. He owns the house where Scarface was filmed at. I've been all through that sucker.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to talk about it publicly, but yes, it's
not cheap.
Yeah.
All six of us together couldn't buy a place. I'm just kidding.
Buy a place. We couldn't afford the damn gate.
Oh, that's why I said it. The kidding part wasn't that we could, gate. That we'd need like
35, 45, 55, $60
more
million homes
to go in on it too.
I think Shaq still has a place out there. I know he had a place out there.
Whoa.
Shaq had one of the houses.
The Estefans have like 3.
Who? Gloria, right?
Estefan. The Estefans are like Miami.
Yeah,
I used to work with them with Blazers a lot.
So she's got the place like 3 doors down from Hochstein, right? Hochstein's the second house in, right? Gloria's the one house that at that time, is like number 5. So when you go in, you get past the little bullshit gate, you make the little right, you go in, right? So Hochstein's here. I remember it was a Halloween party. I was doing some work, moving some of his clients in and out, and all of his parties are all clothing optional parties, if that means anything. They're lifestyle parties, right? And then they all look like Scott up. Yeah, Scott, you think you're fancy? You think you're fancy in your Suburban, bro? I mean, dude,
what?
You drove a Cadillac.
He's like, I'm a big deal. He's like, my clients love me. He's like, flips his hair.
He's still listen. Yeah. Scott's still trying to climb the ladder that I've already jumped over and knocked down. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, he might be better looking. He might still have his hair, right? He might be a little younger, a little taller, but what are you gonna do? You gotta have.
Yeah, don't tell him to stand up. He might hit his head.
Yeah. No, not Benny.
Listen,
not Benny.
I'm not driving the grocery hauler. That's all I'm saying. I'm not driving the grocery hauler.
No, you're not.
No. I got the battery on wheels. I ain't gonna lie, but it's not a grocery hauler.
Oh, look at that, Buddha.
Just make sure my
is that Buddha?
Yeah.
Just make sure my door.
Well, listen. Did you tip bait your driver?
No, I just make sure if it's legit or not. If it's not, then I report it.
What do you mean? What do you mean legit or not? What do you mean?
If it's the person that's on
the picture does not match the driver, I'm like, no, you get reported. You're out.
Oh.
You got like 5 people on.
Oh yeah.
You have one person using 5 different accounts for delivery.
Yeah. They don't like delivering to my house anymore. They're like, oh no, that white guy. It's that white guy again.
Bro, you don't look white. You look peach.
I know. I got sunburnt. I was at Disney yesterday. Life is.
I got 12 jokes
he's had to rough
on that
it a
one. I'm
little
gonna leave it alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're roughing. Did you have to carry Pelosi or push her wheelchair? What were you doing with Pelosi?
Jesus.
Just asking her what the next big move is.
You ain't lying, bro. What'd she tell you? I need it.
And the real question is, what's the inflation like at Disney? Yeah. Disney is already expensive. So what is Disney costing now with the high inflation cost of everything?
Good question.
Dude, that place was packed on a Tuesday, fully packed on a Tuesday. And to go into the park for both parks was $191.
Wow.
Yep.
So packed and 191. I mean, you talking about that?
You know
Disney
what?
makes money left and right.
Disney tickets, Disney World.
Not Disney World, Disneyland.
No, you guys are listen, bro. You're in the little pissant park, okay? We're Disney World. You're just Disneyland, okay? Calm down over there, Junior.
Oh, we're
calm down, Junior. All right, Florida resident special. Florida resident special. Hold on, I want to know. Just curious. Florida resident special. We're cheaper. Florida resident Discover Disney ticket, 3 or 4 day ticket, $75 a day.
Just do 1 day. Pick 1 day.
One day ticket, $119 a piece.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah. Hold on.
Do we know anybody that drives New Jersey? Zion says, anyone work in New Jersey? I'm trying to see how much I can make up there. I don't know.
Oh, Zan's back. There you go. See, there you go, Scotty. Scotty too hottie. 1, 3, or 4 day.
Okay, so
base.
So minus that's just for Florida. How about for everyone that doesn't live in Florida? How much is it?
Well, see, that's what I don't know. Let's go find out. Let's see.
Oh, did Steve have to
Because that
take
was
off?
a Florida resident.
Yeah.
Let's see. Magic Kingdom Park. Oh, they brought me right back to the Florida resident. God.
So if you got a family of 5 or a family of 6 or a family of 8,
Right there.
man, you're spending thousands.
Theme park 120 right
Hey,
there.
have a good one, Steve.
Right in front of you.
Good luck with your dog.
Right there. Yep.
Yeah, I'm seeing 120 a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's just
120 a day, bro.
Mm-mm.
Say again.
That's just.
Oh, Steve took off. All right, Stevie.
Hmm.
Oh, he's yelling at me in the private chat. Yo, bro, thanks for having me on. I gotta walk the dog and put food away. He's crying at my feet. I got you, Steve. Steven, I know you already took care of him. Did you give him a parting gift?
A parting gift? I did not.
Yeah. You're supposed to give him the parting gift.
I thought those were your gifts for both of us.
Well, I gave a lot of them earlier, bro. I didn't want to keep giving them. You know what I mean?
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
The gift that keeps on giving. Listen, the one thing about Steve is, or the one thing about that whole Colorado deal, man, is I didn't know about the employee thing.
Mm.
They got to do something about that. They got to protect those that don't union.
And that's only for Colorado. That's not for the entirety.
Yeah, it's just for Colorado.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, what does that mean for a lot of drivers? Because a lot of them aren't willing to become employees. And what does that mean? Does that also mean if you're an employee? I mean, are you still going to be able to just jump on the app when you want to, or are you going to have schedules?
Well, if you're an employee, you're going to. I mean, right in New York
you get
City,
hour
they're on
blocks
schedules,
and whatnot.
Aren't they still on schedules in New York City? I remember when New York got there, when the limo company out there, whatever TLC got there, finally laid down the law and got what they wanted. There were drivers now on schedules, and so you had to catch a block. I remember that's what it was out there. I don't know how it is now, but that'd be a tough deal, man. Yep. That's a tough deal if they got to force them into being if they're going to force them into being employees. That's a tough deal.
Well, if they're smart, just do less than 32 hours a week. That's it.
I'll tell you guys, it's something that I've been getting emails from Uber the last couple of weeks. There's a company called Tower EV here. They want to come in and say at $18 to maybe $22 an hour, depending upon experience. They want everybody to come out and be an employee and get a 401k.
Yeah, the fleet service.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I even want to try that yet. I'm not even sure.
Well, it's the same as Alto here. I mean, Alto is the same thing. We got one of the guys in our group does some work with them, and it's the same thing. Alto's a fleet service. They're out there in California now too. Look for them coming up. These Uber's just finding companies that are going to be willing to supply the cars and the drivers and the insurances, and Uber's going to take their cut. Same thing as what they're doing with Waymo.
And that's what I want to sort of experiment. I'm saying if they're cutting the rate for us, what are they cutting that rate for those guys in the fleets? Because right now, if the fleet got his own insurance, are they letting the fleet control a lot of the money? Because when I get that extra $25 for pickup for concerts and sports events, do they keep that money too? And does that go to the fleet? I don't even know. That's why I want to experiment and see what that's all about.
From what I understand, once you're driving for a fleet, your hourly is your hourly. That's it.
Oh, okay.
And I think your tips. I think you get your tips. But your hourly is your hourly. If there's surge pricing, you ain't gonna see it.
Right. That's what I figured.
Yeah. There's no bonuses. No, because you're an hourly employee now. So go ahead.
I can tell you that I think they're having problems because they're just telling me, said, look, just bring your phone in, we check your phone, and you can start driving. I think they're desperate for drivers right now, too, because they've been sending constant emails right now, because I have a feeling that with Uber cheating, everybody out of their money, the fleets are making just very fine, thin margins, too. And if they're doing that, where is the meat on the bone? Who's going to be, what bone? When you get that bone, if ain't no meat on it, why do you want the freaking bone?
I've always said you look at a lot. Now, I don't know about Scott. I know when I was in the business, I operated at a decent little profit, about 22%. I think was my normal profit range at the end of every month, which is good. But you go back into the 80s and 90s, you were operating. Most businesses were trying to operate at 30%. But most transportation companies in general, whether it's an airline, trains, trucking companies, whatever, they're operating on less than 5% margin. Very super thin margins to begin with, because of the variable rates, the variable costs, which would be your employee costs and your insurances and your fuel and your maintenance, your insurance, your fuel, your maintenance. Very, very, and then to a degree, your employees, because if you had a large turnover rate, then 1 week you're hiring at $18, another week you're hiring at $24. You gotta have asses in seats driving. So I don't know. I don't know what Scott's margin is, and it's not for him to say. I'm not asking. It ain't none of my business.
I don't even know. I just go. I just go with it. Just go with it.
Yeah. See?
He's like, I get what I need. So I don't.
Yeah.
He drives a Suburban, not an Escalade. That's what happens,
Oh God.
You get the Chevy. You get the Chevy, not the Caddy. Yep. It is what it is.
Yep.
Did you make
and
your?
I'd be willing to bet it's not even a Suburban. I bet he's driving a Ford.
Who, me?
A Jeep Grand Wagoneer.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh, that's a nice car. Yeah, just don't own it.
Grand Wagoneer.
Yeah, just only lease it, Scott. Only lease Grand Wagon.
I'll just buy it brand new. Rent it out to Steven.
No.
I'll rent it out to Steven, and then when it breaks down, I'm like, sorry, Steven.
Hey, I'm down with that as long as you buy it, not me.
Yep.
Listen, I just want to see Scotty Too Hottie driving a Model Y. That's all I want to see. I want a picture of him.
You know what? You should drive my Model Y, Scott.
6'4". I want to see him duck his head in that goddamn thing. And his little Ronald McDonald haircut swinging up against the glass, And I'm sure when he gets out, it has some glow show. What was it? What the hell was it from
the hair would be America? Like this with this
Soul Glow. He'll have some of that Soul Glow hitting on top of the roof, from his hair.
Yeah, no thanks. Where's the gas for this, Steven? We got to go to the gas station. Let's go to the gas station real quick.
He's like, this isn't going all the way in the whole. You know what? I'm just gonna. Oh wait, it's not.
Hey guys, any advice here? So I got a full-time job, so I'm considering financing a car or buying one to get back on the road to do Uber and Lyft, make extra money. I'll leave that up to y'all. I got in trouble earlier, Zan, because I told everybody to go buy a Suburban.
I would say get yourself a. I mean, if you can deal with it, get yourself the cheapest Prius that's in good condition that you can find. Don't finance a really expensive car. Get yourself something cheap so you can make as much money off of it as you can.
Ride it till the wheels fall off.
Yep, and do the maintenance. Ride it till the wheels fall off. If you're just trying to supplement your full-time job, I mean, because that's basically what I'm doing, and that would be the best position. If I didn't have my car right now, that's what I would do.
Yep.
Yeah, and at least get something that'll give you some leeway, especially with the years. Now, if you could get a 2017 for $7,000, go ahead and do it.
Yeah,
that'll buy you some time. Because eventually, when you hit that certain threshold, Uber will kick you off, and Lyft will do the same thing. They will kick you off.
Now, how do you know this, Thomas? Now, Thomas, how would you know this, sir?
Well, I have been kicked off the platform because my cars.
Freaking Scott.
2008, and I don't want a car note at all.
I heard that. Steve, appreciate you, buddy. You didn't have to do that again, buddy. You know what the hell, man. You won't even let me like it. Oh, there it is.
Oh, dude, a donation, and I haven't even got my tits out yet. Oh, that's what's up.
Well, listen, bro. One time for Steve. You ready? One time for Steve.
I mean, hey, the year limit on wait, what is the year limit on Uber? 8?
I have no idea.
Until they kick you off.
5. Well, yeah,
that's it.
I thought it was like 10 or 12 years now.
Yeah, I thought it was like
they keep changing. They keep changing the year because they keep losing drivers.
The year limit is right when you get kicked off or you're negative in your bank account. That's
negative. Yeah, that's usually how it goes, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody tonight joining us in the chat. We've got 24 in on YouTube, 4, 5 on the Rideshare. 1. God damn it, Steven, we got to get your numbers up, buddy. I don't know how we're going to get your numbers, but we got to get your numbers up. Well, we got 22 on Twitter and everybody else on YouTube. We do appreciate y'all being here tonight. We had a good time. It was awesome to have Steve from Rideshare Rodeo. Y'all make sure y'all check him out. The name of his channel is Rideshare Rodeo. Right? We got Steven, my buddy. He's the executive producer. I'm working hard. I got to buy him a comb. I got to get him a comb because he's just, it ain't working for me, man.
It works just fine for me.
I understand, but I can't have my EP.
Oh, you got me. You gotta have me lined up and everything.
Well, I ain't lining you up, bro. Listen, I don't swing that way, dude. I don't know. All that tape shit, nah, bro. No. Mine's gone. See, mine's gone. So there ain't no tape. Me and Thomas are on the. Tom and I are on the same wavelength, bro. I can't help you and Scotty too hottie over here.
Are you trying to enact being somebody, Scott?
No, just me.
you Buddha at the charger.
Oh yeah.
Buddha at the charger. Now, see, I would take and see where Mr. Gambit falls within the hairlines and everything, but can't nobody see him. He's incognito.
I'll tell you what I got next week, Vinny. I'll come on when you first come on when the light of day is out because I'm pretty dark where I'm at now. I'll definitely do that for your next week show.
Yeah, okay, buddy. Okay. Well, you know what?
No, I got hair, man. No hairline. I'm not receding hair. None of that, man. I'm an old dude, but
you're not receding yet, like the rest of. Hey, listen, bro. Don't be picking on me, man. Because
No. My dad, when he passed away at 81, full head of hair still, man. We don't ball in our family.
Well, it usually comes from the mom's side.
Yeah.
But yeah, my grandfather.
My mom didn't make it past 42, so I can't speak to that one. But she had a head full of hair at that time.
I don't know.
My mom had a head full of hair too. She had her hair too when she passed. That's what I mean. That
you're trying to do,
pool, man.
I'm out.
Mine's gone, baby.
Mine's
gone. I got pure white right there, buddy. That is it. That is baby's bottom right there, buddy. Baby's bottom.
Dude.
Is that the sun?
Straight take the pamper off.
Yeah, exactly. See, now I'm gonna have to ride around. I'm gonna have to ride around in the Tessie tomorrow with no hat on. I'm gonna have to let that soul glow get on my head. But I can't use any sunblock. Sunblock causes cancer. I don't know if you guys have been hearing these reports. Since RFK has gotten into the White House, we're getting the real deal on red dye and all this other shit.
Oh yeah,
and it seems that sunblock causes cancer.
Well, yeah, but he wants to cut back on the fluoride now, so just know there's going to be a bunch of rotten teeth in America.
A whole nother thing.
Yeah, well, listen, I don't know how they're going to solve it.
Keep up with that from the beginning.
Again, I'm going to say it like I say it, bro. At some point, you got to pull the Band-Aid off. This shit's going to sting. But I'd rather take the hits and let my grandkids live free than, pass the buck down to them. So hopefully they get this shit squared away. Anyway, we are going to wrap this show up. It is 11:16, man. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. Thomas, as always, bro.
Yes,
you're my ace. You're my ace right here in the state. Ron was going to try to be here tonight, but he had to work. Mr. Gambit, welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you so much, my man. Appreciate that. Glad to be here.
Yep. Just listen, Steven, you got the email, right?
Yeah, I got it. He's on my list now, so every time the email goes out, he'll get it too.
Okay.
He's on the list. It's up to him. Now, there's no pressure. You don't have to come, but you'll be welcome to the show. That's the way.
Thank you for the invite. Much appreciated.
Absolutely. And so I guess Scotty too hottie took off, huh?
Mm-hmm.
His girlfriend said that's enough. You can't play around anymore. You got to come do the dishes. The dishes need to get done, goddammit.
Hey, Zion. So yeah, the limit's 2009. So you'd be looking at like a 2010. I would recommend at least a couple of years on the car. Yeah,
2017.
But I mean, there's some good deals out there for the older ones. I'm just saying, in case you need to build up the cash. Yeah. I was seeing something at $3,000, and the engine was still running good.
We like that.
Yeah. I mean, look, you're not trying to impress anybody. You're just trying to make your money. So I didn't.
At the end of the day, bro, get your money and bounce. Bootalations 101. Get your money and bounce.
I got a corner full of car parts. I'm just buying piece by piece.
Damn.
That car gonna drive brand new.
Well, hold on, dog. Let me check Amazon for some duct tape to get you going over there, bro. Oh, look at this dude. Look at Scotty Too Hotty. Now I know Scotty.
Donation, and I haven't even got my tits out yet. Ah, that's what's up.
I'm not rubbing my boobies for Scott. I'm not doing it for Scott. All right. There you go. Tom, you ain't even with us, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing, Tom? What movie is that from, though? What movie is that from? Come on. I'll give you a hint. Keanu Reeves is in it.
Nope. That didn't help.
What, Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure?
No. Mr. Gambit, you know what movie that's from?
What? Say it again. What did you just say?
What I do this here. What movie is this from? What movie is that from?
Speed?
Who?
It's not Speed?
No. The Replacements.
Oh, the Replacements. That's right.
The Replacements. It was the Irish kicker.
I only saw it as a meme.
Field goal. Every time he kicked the field goal, yeah. Anyway, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. All right. Well, we're going to wrap this sucker up. We're going to get up out of here.
Yes, sir.
All right, folks. You guys have a good one. Thanks for that invite. Much appreciated.
All right, Mr. Gambit. Stay safe out there, brother.
Safe out there, brother.
I will.
Thank you again, Scotty. Thank you again, Steve. We appreciate you. Everybody in the chat tonight, Mr. DSN, and everybody else. We appreciate y'all coming through. We will see you. I won't be doing anything in the morning, I don't think.
No.
Maybe Friday morning on the road. I got a lot going on Friday morning, man. Listen, hey, look, Thomas. Listen to me. Let me tell you what happened yesterday. Before we go, let me tell you the story for yesterday, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, yesterday you got me into this crazy ass mood, and I was just going off yesterday. Right? It'd been a while, and then I went way off the reservation and was talking about, bitch, you should be speaking English in this country. All this bullshit we were talking about yesterday, right? and I wasn't able to do any trading, right? So then we got done with the show, right? And I go to turn my attention to trading. Next thing I know, I'm $230 in the hole. Yeah.
Jesus.
Took a trade, put me down 230. I'm like, see, that bullshit right there got me all messed up. See what I mean? So we're sitting here. I'm done with the show. I'm like, how the hell I get down here? Blah, 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 blah. Now, I finished the day plus 208. Okay? So I got my money back, and I made money in the market yesterday.
That's a good thing.
But you can't be getting me all riled up and then expect me to go make money.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's all your fault. It's all Thomas's fault. Because he texted me in the morning. I saw the notification.
Right.
You better make it good.
Hey, but he was telling the truth. What lie had you told? Not one.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I put out a video yesterday, and I still ain't got 100 views on it. It's been so long. I was telling Steven, bro, it's been so long since I posted a video.
It's been a long time since post. Yeah, it happens.
I do the Tesla Rideshare channel every weekend, right? And that's just talking about, just what we do rideshare wise, just on the weekends, just going. It's just a vlog, right? We got a goal for Saturday. We got a goal for Sunday. We got an overall goal for the weekend. So I shoot the vlog, tell a couple stories, and that's it for the Tesla Rideshare channel. Over here, we trading. We're talking shit. We're according to Steven, I'm telling my truth. And apparently nobody wants to hear that shit. Everybody's telling me shut the fuck up. Saying, Vinny, shut the fuck up and talk rideshare. We don't want you for anything else. Just talk rideshare, goddammit.
Well, the funniest thing,
to Steven.
No, Steven, the funniest thing when he brought up the analogy when World War II, when Japan had China in a whole chokehold. And when he was like, I know. And he was like, do you think they could do that to China today. And for some reason, I was saying, and we both said it at the same time. I said China will decimate Japan. It was like in unison. I burst out laughing. I said, I can't even text him that. Because then he gonna be like, that's my fault too.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, think about that shit, right? Like, we get so trapped. Listen, we get so trapped up in trying to chase a $5 fucking surge that we forget about what's really important in the real world and the shit that we got to deal with after we get out the car.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's this shit traps you in here. It just traps you. And I ain't lying, bro. I'm trying to snap them fucking chains, bro. You know, it's. So anyway, I was able to bring it back. And this morning I thought about going live. And I said, no, I need to make some money first, you know. So I made my money. And then I was done trading by like 10:30, right? I was up. I did $190 something today. I'm like, okay, I'm done getting away. Let me push away from this shit. And I went and took me a nap. I ain't even think about goddamn accounting Tom wanting to go live. Fuck that. I went and took a nap. That's what the hell I did.
I had time today. I was at home.
Oh.
The cable people was here messing with the cable, trying to fix the router and all that other stuff. I didn't show up time today. I'd have had Benny on there in 3 hours.
And he took a nap.
Yep.
Damn right.
And that's much needed.
And you know what? And I bet you I was snoring too. Goddamn it!
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? Y'all know when Oscar comes around here and the cat starts doing the meowing bullshit. Yes. I bet you I got even today, but I bet you I got even today with snoring. I bet you the cat was like, I wish he'd shut the fuck up.
Man, Benny Cat was on a tear.
Oh God, bro. You know, listen. Oscar's old school, man. Oscar's 18 years old, 17 years old. He's up there. But I swear to Jesus, I don't hear a peep out of him until I turn on the mic. When I take the mic and turn that motherfucker on. I'm like, Oscar, chill out, buddy. What do you want? I don't want nothing. I want you to pet me now, goddammit. I know you're busy.
So when you get Oscar, like what, 2004?
Yeah, dude. Shit, I was still in Dade County then. Yeah. Jesus. Matter of fact, my second daughter was still in college. And she's shit. Tony's what, 34 now? So yeah. Long time ago, bro.
Long time ago. Time go by fast, boy.
Oscar's up there, bro. Oscar's up there, man. 17, 18 years old, man. He's an old man. You know, yes. That fucker might outlive me, though. He almost outlived me. Shitting me.
Right.
He almost outlived me. Real. Yeah, for real. He almost outlived me. I got problems now, and now I'm looking at that motherfucker. Ain't no way I'm letting Oscar outlive me, man. Bro. I can't have that. I can't have that shit. I cannot have.
He's like, I can't look myself in the eye.
I can't do it, bro. Listen, bro. We're not doing that. No, the cat will not outlive me. If that motherfucker's here in 10 years, I'm here in 10 years. We're gonna fight it out.
Yes, okay? Sir.
I just lost on a radar. That sucks.
Oh my
dude. I told you over the weekend, though.
Somewhere else.
Bro, trip radar is so bad. Dude, I must have gotten 30 trip radars over the weekend. Right? Sent me 30 trip radars over the weekend. I think I got 2 of them. And that was it. 2 of them. They're going to somebody else. Wow. Whoever the exclusive guy is, that's the guy who's getting the calls. That's the guy who's getting the rides. I told Steven and Pascal today, Tom, I got $100 trip radar come through on a Premier ride going from Boca down to South Beach. Now, I didn't even bother to fucking hit the button. I ain't even bother. I just looked at it like, shit, somebody's going to get a good ride. Yeah. Somebody's going to get a good ride.
Right.
It ain't me. You know, it ain't me. Shit. All right. Anyway, yeah, we're going to wrap this up. Steven, take us home, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Thought you already made it succinct. We appreciate everybody being here. Thank you for rolling through, Zion. Pro levels make a difference on that, I believe. You know what? Somebody keeps says that, and some of the group that I talked to in the Rideshare Radio, they talk about what is it? They talk about your acceptance rate and your training the algorithm. I don't believe that. Because I still get tons of rides that are outside of what I would ever accept. So I don't believe it. But I end up catching a lot of those rides. It sucks when I don't, but a lot of the times I end up catching them. So I mean, to each their own. I think there's some stuff that affects it, but like to a
Mr.
very
DSN,
small degree.
I don't know what else people want out of me. I don't know what else they want.
Exactly.
I mean, somebody's going to roll up next to me at the traffic light and say, "Vinny." I'll be like, "Yeah, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I know you from YouTube. Oh, I appreciate it. Come on. What you doing with 60% acceptance rate? Stop that shit." But keep making the video. See you next time.
See you next time. Bro. And with that, we'll be out. Appreciate you all being here. See you.
All right, y'all. Be easy. Have a good night. Be safe. We'll see you either tomorrow morning or Friday morning. I don't know.